Hit me up, seriously. We'll play together tonight.
Testicles.
I'm not hitting you anywhere.
That song is the stuff of nightmares.
I'm sorry to cut that song off right when it starts getting good, and we didn't get to the good part of the song.
Wait, you mean I want to take you for a ride? Doo-doo-doo-doo. Doo-doo.
That's my favorite part.
That is my favorite part.
Hello and welcome to episode 32 of Dallas for Heroclix. It sounds weird saying a number that high when we do the intro of this
I can't
show.
even count that high.
So, I'm your host, Hunter Smith. With me today is Austin Smith and Drew Alderson.
We just got married, everybody.
We're all Smiths now. Today we're going to discuss spoilers, including important Guardians news, which gave me a chubby.
There's some good news.
And
There's
there's much good news.
Rooster, have you heard the good news?
Alright.
Adam Warlock's back from the dead after 3 days.
And there's
Austin farted.
Main topic is AvX constructed pieces. The top 10 pieces that you should pick up for your constructed events, Silver Age and otherwise, for 10 for X-Men, 10 for Avengers. Let's get into news first, and let's get right to the main spoilers.
Would you say the meat of the spoilers, Hunter?
I would say the meat. Let's get right on the meat.
Austin loves getting on the meat, so let's
I don't know what you're talking about.
First of all, we have the actual. If you guys want to see these, go to heroclix.com, go to the downloads tab at the top right, and then scroll down to Guardians of the Galaxy, because we have solicits for the 10 booster brick, the CTD, the Fast Forces, and the OP kits. The 10 booster brick is, as we thought,
no super boosters.
No super boosters there, so that's a good. Personally, I think that's a good thing.
It's good.
8 chases in this set, which is very interesting. 24 common, 17 uncommon, 16 rare, 12 super rare, 8 chases. Pretty. I like the distribution. I don't know if I like 8 chases, but depending on how they do the rarity, it might be fine.
The thing people are talking about with 8 chases, there's a lot of people that are hoping they're Thanos and his generals.
Yeah,
That'd be pretty sweet.
There's no telling what they're going to be. If they put 1 per brick on the chases,
they should. With 8 chases and 10 boosters, they will.
Yeah, they'll do at least 1 per brick. So I guess I'm fine with that.
The Badoon, the Kree, Dire Wraiths.
Yeah, so some ones to mention some particular pieces we see here that they showed either sculpts of or mentioned in the text. First of all, we get a new Annihilus. Who doesn't want a new Annihilus?
Oh, yeah.
Who doesn't?
Star-Lord, which we knew would be coming. A new 52 version of Captain Marvel, which is awesome.
Yep.
Because, the Chaos War had 2 or 3 different Miss Marvels. It
had a binary and then a main set one.
And a CTD one, or a gravity feed one. But none of them really were great. They were okay at best. So
I don't like the new 50, or the new 52, the newer look of...
Did I say new 52?
You said new 52.
Sorry, I'm going to say Marvel now.
It threw me off.
Yeah. Marvel now.
I don't like the new look for Captain Marvel, but I do like...
I like it. I'm
hoping we get some good stats for
I like both looks, though. The good thing about the black and yellow is it shows a lot of TNA. But the new suit looks nice and sleek and sexy, and that's a good book too. The art's really good in that book.
And then Angela.
Angela from Guardians of the Galaxy and from the Spawn series, or used to be from the Spawn series. And also Modern Age World Champion piece, Dan Morand, who is a friend of the show and does the Quarry with me and Edward.
You do the podcast, and I'm the one who has to pull the name.
I'm having a brain fart. He chose to do Shriek. So, which got second place in a fan vote not that long ago. So, everybody tell old Dan Morand a very big thank you for picking the second place finisher in a fan vote. That was nice of him.
Sleepwalker, but Sleepwalker wasn't the winner. A lot of people brought that up.
Right, Sleepwalker's in it too. As you said a second ago, there's also going to be Badoon, Kree, and Dire Wraiths.
What I'm hoping is that this kind of sets a standard for future sets going forward, because Invincible Iron Man did it. There were 3 minion types in Invincible Iron Man, if you paid attention to it. There were the Dreadnoughts, the Magia Goons, and the
Hammer Drones.
So I'm hoping they continue that trend, because 2 was good, 3 is awesome.
Yeah, who doesn't like minions? I mean,
Especially when
They're
they're
great.
Kree, Dire Wraiths, and Badoon.
or sorry, we should say generics because they're not all minions. Not all generic.
Not all generics are minions, but
No, not all minions are. Yeah, you said it
Yeah.
right.
I was about to say it backwards, but
No.
And
we're
then
getting
the 24 count gravity feed, which is based around the movie. So this kind of also gives us a little bit of spoilers on the movie.
no. This is the.
Is it not based on the
This
movie?
is not the movie. This is the gravity
Oh,
feed for.
yeah. Okay, I apologize.
They haven't done the movie retailers.
Okay,
yet.
this is the gravity feed for the main set. So it'll have 10 separate figures, same rarity. We see a Gamora here, but of
Bomb
course,
Chicka Bow Wow, freaking Mass Effect Gamora.
and then Badoon and Kree generics also in the gravity feed. So like we said, it's great to get more generics. Then we got the Fast Forces. It's freaking humans. It's in humans,
And
baby.
that sculpt of freaking Lockjaw, yeah.
Yeah. So we got Black Bolt, Medusa, Crystal, Karnak, Gorgon, and Lockjaw. And let's see if it says 2 maps. And other than that, it'd be your typical Fast Forces. But that is freaking awesome.
That is amazing.
And then OP kit, no specifics on
Hold
the
on.
figures yet, of course.
I was gonna say, can we just all agree that between Deadpool's Fast Forces, Sloshes, and this one, WizKids is really stepping up the Fast Forces with the full
Yes.
team
And
thing.
if they do a flash set, and if it is Rogues,
I will.
This
I
is-
will.
okay. First of all, this is already going to be the best year in Heroclix.
Yes, no
in
doubt.
my opinion, as far as sets.
And we haven't even seen all the CTDs yet.
Yeah, we haven't even seen. Yeah, exactly. Just the fact that there's Guardians of the Galaxy and Deadpool, and that the Slosh series
Solid.
figures or set is actually looking pretty good.
The only reason it won't be the greatest possible is because there's no Return of the King Super Boosters.
Yeah, but there'll still be a Return of the King set. I can live with that.
But there's no Balrog, huh?
I know that.
It's okay.
That's
It's
bullshit
no
oversight
Balrog.
on their figure. Back to the OP kit. Sorry. Get back on topic here. We got 12 LEs in the kit. 3 copies each of 4. It's always awesome when they have 4
Yeah,
different.
because Deadpool started doing that, and then they're going to continue it, which is
Wait,
nice.
they used to, I mean, Batman had this, had
Yeah.
4 separate figures.
Did it have 4?
Yeah.
What were the 4?
Azrael, Renegade,
Renegade.
Zerinaw, and Matches Malone. Oh, yeah. 3 copies of 4 figures, 20 special objects, 2 different, 10 copies of 2, and then 10 maps in your OP kit sheet. So,
I'm happy with 4 figures. Like, that is just awesome.
very sick. All right, let's get into some figure spoilers, and let's start off with the best freaking one. This is gonna be a contender for best Wolverine ever made. It's got to be. Don't you guys think?
It's probably top 3.
I think he's tied for first, in my opinion.
Some sort of, I don't know, Blades, Claws, Flurry, Precision Strike might be a little retarded.
So let's, if you want to follow along with this, go to Heroclix.com, find Wolverine from Days of Future Past set, 130 points. The old school brown and yellow X-Men outfit only has the X-Men keyword. That's the only thing I don't like about this guy, but it makes sense for the specific set. Although they could have thrown like Weapon X or something else on there, but
I don't know.
if this guy had X-Force keyword, I'd play his ass all the time.
I think that's why they did it. They're like, hey, this Hunter guy on that Dial H loves X-Force. Let's make the best Wolverine ever and snub him.
So we got a traded regen. When he has 2 tokens, he can use as a free action.
Oh, traded region. Oh, hey, look, this guy's got 7 clicks for 130 points. I played something today that was 7 clicks for 150 and didn't have traded regen.
Movement power is Blades, Charge, Flurry. Then he has Precision Strike
What the fuck is this?
with 11 attack, 3 damage.
Who designed this?
A very handsome man. I don't know who he is, but he deserves some
He's
backbone.
behind the mask and he's very pretty.
I'm sorry, what's that? You can ignore super senses and deal a potential 12 damage?
Okay.
Yeah, and even if they have Impervious, you're going to get 1 through on each hit. Oh my god. Get out of here.
Get out of here.
This is nuts. And then he has Empower and a 17 reflexes. He has Indom. He has an excellent dial. He's 130 points, which is high. X-Men team ability. 130 points, which is high, but he's well worth his points, I think.
Dear God, he might be one of the better melee pieces in that point range ever printed. In 100 to 150 point, like not counting exactly 150 or exact.
Well, considering that even after, first of all, he gets the 3 straight clicks of Charge, Flurry, Blades,
Which is...
and then free traded regen with 2 tokens, and yeah, I mean you're right, he is really good. As far as will he be like meta?
No, he's too expensive for a 300 point.
Yeah, he's a little expensive, but man, he is tasty.
In regards to like I'm playing a 500 point game and need a damn good Wolverine.
This guy will see play at your local venue like he'll get
Like,
tons
oh,
of
I need to
play.
put a Wolverine on the team. He's going on.
Yeah.
That's literally it.
Gaia the Fierce Knight.
I am really happy with this
Oh
spoiler.
my god.
Gaia, yeah, this thing is awesome. First of all, Gaia was one of the coolest characters on the show. Like,
I'm really excited because I'm really hoping they do a good Gaia the Dragon Knight too.
Gaia
That's one of the
is 141 points, and he has a trait, Move and Attack. When he does, he can use Flurry instead of making a close combat attack. Which you might as well do because he only has 2 range, so when you move attack, it's only 1 square, so you're going to be meleeing with him anyways.
But that's a 12 movement move and attack that drops him to a 9 attack.
Yeah, but you're getting 2 swings.
Yeah, but you're getting 2 swings, yeah.
He has, other than that, he has Indom, Move and Attack symbol, Charge, Quake, Exploit, and Impervious. Very
18
tasty
imperv.
top click.
And we've talked about it in Yu-Gi-Oh! Like, there isn't a ton of Impervious in this set. Like, there's a lot of super senses and stuff, which, once again, that's something Flurry's really good against.
Yep.
But there really isn't a ton of imperv and stuff. So having access to such a good one big chunk piece at rare that can do 4 exploit damage at 12 or at
12
6,
movement, so
6
6
charge,
square, yeah.
And in Dom, and he can carry with movement or transporter, can he?
2 clicks of Charge, Quake, Exploit, then 2 clicks of Charge, Precision Strike, Invul with still 4 damage, so 4 damage on his first 4 clicks, and then a couple clicks of Flurry, and then he gets knocked off his horse when he has Earthbound. So for Yu-Gi-Oh! Only, if you're doing sealed or you're doing some kind of constructed, he's pretty dang good.
Oh yeah.
For main Silver Age, he's a little expensive, but
I do want to point out
really
one thing
cool
about him,
sculpt,
though.
though.
When they first started spoiling Yu-Gi-Oh! Stuff, there were a lot of complaints about there weren't generic keywords for a lot of them, outside of Yu-Gi-Oh! Specific ones. The last few spoilers they've done have had normal HeroClix generic keywords.
We got Warrior on this dude.
Yeah, I'm thinking a lot of people are thinking that they're going back and adding them since cards come out afterwards. Either they went back and added them to a lot of them since the set was pushed back anyway to print, or whatever. We're seeing it on a lot of stuff now, so hopefully they continue that trend.
Next up, we have Black Manta, and he is sexy.
Yeah.
He is a boss.
This is the main set Black Manta, which the Fast Forces set version was really good, and we'll be I'll be talking about him when I do the Fast Forces review on our YouTube channel. This guy, the main set one, is just as good though. It plays a little differently. Traded carry ability. Lines of fire drawn to him by opposing characters are blocked if they cross water. That's 24/7, so it's better than stealth. And he is wild card, Indom, Dolphin symbol, 5 range, 2 bolts. So he starts off with Sidestep, Psychic Blast. Then he goes on to Running Shot, and then Charge Blades, and then Running Shot Incap. Two final clips of Incap. You know what this die?
Combat expert too.
You know what this die reminds me of, and look at it for a second and think about it. I think I have a good point. It's what Crossbones should have been.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
If you look at it, it's very
that's almost
similar.
exactly
Yeah, it's very similar to Crossbones, except it has a defense Indom, and it has a cool trait in its wild card. It's just it's Crossbones but better.
My only complaint about him is I don't like his last 2 clicks. I love the defense on him because he has combat reflexes in a 17 and 16, but he picks up ranged combat expert on his last 2. So he goes Charge Blades and Close Combat Expert, and then he drops back onto range stuff for the last 2 clicks outside of the melee defense. Is a little weird to me. But otherwise, I mean, he's a monster for 97 points and Calculator in Justice League Legion of Doom. I mean, like, awesome. Probably my favorite Black Mana, even compared to the Fast Forces one. Like, I really like this one.
He's just as good as Fast Forces one for sure. That's it for the spoilers. I'll mention that the player's guide got updated.
There is one more spoiler.
What's
Did
that?
you see Hope Summers from AvX Month 3?
Yeah, but I wanted to wait till it was time for the month 3 stuff,
that's
and then we'll talk about her and the 2
And Xavier.
Xavier and
Xavier Hope are the giveaway, and then they haven't shown the White Phoenix Hope yet.
right. We'll do all 3 of those sometime. Or if they get spoiled, they all spoil early, then we'll do them on the same time. Player's guide got updated. There's a lot of stuff. We're of course not going to go through all of it. Some main things: Iceman got updated. Silver Centurion finally got updated. I'll be doing him for a rules video pretty soon now that he has an official errata. And anybody else specifically that it's important to note that are like big played pieces.
Iceman, Silver Centurion.
There's a minor one, but one thing I like is that formerly when a character could use regen as a free action, it said they may use regen as a free action. Now it says may activate regen as a free action, which I think is kind of cool.
Yeah, they clarified the wording on that. Which
there were a few other things they clarified too that were pretty sweet.
That'll do it for news. We'll get into a little what we played. Quickly recap our matches.
Spider-Man: The Amazing Friends team base was spoiled in the player's guide too, and I think it does have the WizKids convention exclusive note.
Okay, so some truth to that rumor, which that was the one that everybody thought
Yeah.
was pretty much guaranteed to be.
I didn't know what else they'd be shoving that in.
Yeah, giggity. What we played, Austin didn't go Wednesday, so Drew and I will talk about our 500 points. It was a Valentine's Day event, so you had to build 500-point guys team, 500-point girls team, and one of your guys and one of your girls had to have a relationship together. So you kind of had your guy and his squad, and then his girlfriend and her squad. What were your teams, Drew? Because I don't think I saw. I can't remember what was your couple.
My couple was John Constantine and Zatanna.
Oh, that's a good one.
Oh, that's right. So who was on your guy team?
My guy team was John Constantine, Black Adam, John Constantine, Black Adam, Swamp Thing from Superman, and Nightwing.
From Batman.
With belt. Both my teams had the belt because I wasn't sure on whether or not we could use separate resources, and we could. So I just decided to use belt first, safety's sake. My female team was Zatanna, Big Barda, who else? Starfire from Teen Titans, and who was the other one?
Starfire, Zatanna, Big Barda. Was it Black Bat?
It was Black Bat.
Yeah.
And I ended up going 1-2. Both of my games that I ended up losing were winnable, but I just didn't have very good luck. Yeah, I didn't have very good luck, and lost it.
You play what? I assume you played a good hindering base map for Swamp Thing,
Yes.
right?
Yeah, the Garden.
That's a pretty damn good choice for Swamp Thing.
Is it? I mean, that seems like something Hunter Smith would come up with.
Yeah. Freaking Swamp Thing. First of all, Swamp Thing's a blast to play. Did you get to activate his
yes
tendrils things all the time? Let's bring up Swamp Thing and tell the good people how he works.
My gosh, the Swamp Thing. When you go to do a move action, you can put yourself in a square of hindering terrain within 4 squares. And then he has a special damage ability where you can choose any number of characters occupying a square, printed hindering terrain within 4 squares, and deal 1 damage to the chosen characters. So
Andy has poison on top of that at certain points. And when he does, a character that takes damage and has 0 tokens is given a token on top of that.
Which is pretty sick.
Yeah, it's sick.
Like I'm going to clear, and, I'll be like, I'm gonna...
So if you have an outwit or 2 on your team, and you can outwit defenses to get, first of all, his poison through, then his nature assault through, which you give him a free action, choose the hindering squares within 4 and deal 1. So you're dealing 2 free damage and giving him a token.
And
for free, and he still gets to hit you.
And he still hits pretty hard.
Yeah, he has super
And if he
strength.
moves, he can just...
The only thing that keeps him from being stupidly awesome is that he has a high point cost at 147 and no willpower, but he's still a really fun piece to play.
He's still a great piece.
I played him with a couple moments before, and because they have outwit, and they have the mind control since he's a monster. But I'm really hoping we get a new Swamp Thing soon, especially since when the sets rotate, he'll go to silver.
I know.
And we won't have a modern age Swamp Thing. And Swamp Thing is big in DC right now.
He's pretty huge.
He's first of all, his main book is one of DC's best books, and he's in Justice League Dark, and he was played a part somewhat in Trinity War.
Yeah.
So hopefully he gets a new figure. Let's see what else we have here. And then how does your girls team play? Like, what's the idea with the team?
It was a mostly range based team with a ton of range pieces, and Big Barda would teleport in, and Boom Tube, and Zatanna surprisingly is actually a very good secondary attacker. I think she starts with like a 10 penetrating psychic blast with 3 damage and prob.
Let me pull her up here.
I don't know. She might roll onto it.
Yeah. 10. Well, she alternates from perplex and prob.
Yeah. So, I played Zatanna. What am I talking about? I'm losing track of everything.
Who was your belt on?
Big Barda. Oh, no, it was on Zatanna. I put it on Zatanna so she'd have willpower. And, basically the game plan was to poke at range and energy explosion and do a bunch of other stuff. And, yeah, team did pretty well.
Zatanna's a monster.
Zatanna is a monster.
She's very finessey.
She is, but when she gets put in the right position, she gets the job done.
I loved rolling her onto her second click and getting +2s from the belt and doing 5 damage to someone.
With energy explosion and prob control.
Yeah.
I've played her before. She is very finessey, but she is worth her points when you can get the most out of her. Plus, she has mystics, and then she gets 2 clicks of regen and phasing towards the end.
Well, her big problem is the lack of move and attack. Like, that really does hurt.
But I like that on PC.
We've talked about this
I know.
before.
Yeah, I know it sounds weird, and that's what I like about Martian Manors. I like when my piece is a little tough to play. Like, especially if it's efficient for its points too, where it's not killing. Like, they pack a lot into the dial besides move and attack, so that it's at least worth.
We've gotten, like I've said before, we've gotten a bit spoiled by move and attack.
We've gotten very, very spoiled with Book of Skulls.
Yeah.
My guys' team was. First of all, my couple was Superman, Wonder Woman. I played Tab Superman at 150 with Electro from main set, Deadshot again from Batman Origins, 2 Astral Stranges, and Alfred. And that team was freaking nasty. The 2 times that I got my guys' team, it was just a straight roll over the opponent. The team was just really good, and I'll talk about the tactics. Actually, I'll go ahead and talk about my guys' team. So, for both of these teams, I built them around the power plant because I've said before, I think the power plant's the best resource we have.
I agree.
And I really want to start playing it more because I've only played it a couple times, and I want to try to learn it, master it, so that when we do play competitive stuff, I can use it and be very good with it. So I'm going to be trying to make a point to play it more often. And with this team, the Astral Doctor Stranges are the best things to have for the power plant. They have free movement, so they never need to take a token. So what that means is if you never have to take a token, then you never have to clear tokens, and therefore you never have to clear rings. They get free movements. They cost like freaking 13 points, which is nothing. And they have the mystical keyword. So what I would do is give one of them Black Light, so my team's always in stealth.
Yeah.
Give the other one Matter Rearranger, and at times give one of them Force Blast Ring. And one of my favorite moves was I had 2 Astral Stranges side by side. My opponent had Scarlet Witch from AvX in stealth. I gave the Force Blast Ring to one Astral Strange. I had this other Astral Strange Matter Rearranger create a block of hindering, phase the Force Blaster over, Force Blast Scarlet Witch out of stealth and into the blocking for 2 penetrating damage that doesn't trigger mystics, and then shot her and killed her.
That ring is awesome, dude.
The power plant is so good.
It's so stupid.
These Astrals are so good. Like I've said, the power plant is limited to your creativity. That's a perfect example of what I always say, that it's limited to your creativity.
There's 2 things the power plant doesn't provide, and that's willpower and move and attack. But that's not a big deal because the power plant's more of a toolbox. It's more of, I want some weird niche thing, and I need to find the best way to use it.
Well, what I like best about it is it answers questions it answers multiple matchups.
Yeah.
It helps you overcome matchups on the fly. And that's what's good about the utility belt, too, is you can change your items out. Whereas the Book of the Skulls is always going to give you what it's going to give you and what you brought with you. Like the power plant can be, if you use your brain and you think of your options, you can always come up with some combination between your pieces and what you have that will overcome the obstacle. Most of the time. You have matchups, which happened in my first one, but most of the time you can come up with an answer when you have the power plant. So the other part of the team was, and I'm going to go ahead and spoil my little combo here, even though I'm going to use it again in the future. I played Deadshot with Electro because Deadshot is a wild card, has a 12 attack, and Electro has Sinister Syndicate TA, so I can give Electro Deadshot's 12 attack. And I would give Electro the White Light Ring so that when he does his ping pong thing, everybody he hits takes -2 attack, -1 damage. So what I did was burn a ring, give Electro a 13 attack, bounce, land the shot, bounce it. At one point, I hit 4 separate opposing characters 2 separate times each with 1 Electro bounce. And so I effectively had all 4 of his pieces at a -4 attack, -2 damage, which is just overkill. So that's an extremely good combination, White Light Ring with Electro, especially if you have somebody to buff his attack like that. And the guys' team, I don't think I lost a single piece any of the games. Like, the guys' team just wrecked everybody.
That gives me a good idea for just the tip today, actually.
What?
I was going to say, sometimes it might be beneficial just to wait a turn, so that way you get a step up on your opponent's pacing, because you're not going to hit an attack with a -4, but Electro is going to be 2 tokens eventually.
Yeah. But by the time that he has 2 tokens, the damage. Like,
oh, yeah.
The damage is done. Tap Superman is who I played, and he's 150 points. I used him because I needed to see through stealth if Matter Rearranger couldn't get it done fast enough, and because he's a pretty good overall piece. He has top dial hypersonic with 10 movement, 10 attack, and 4 damage, and I had Kryptonian ATA on him. He has super strength, and it's traded super strength, and when he uses an object, you reduce it by 1 when you do the attack, and then after actions resolve, you deal 1 unavoidable. And that sounds pointless, but basically what it does is helps you get through stop clicks. That's really the only use for it.
Well, that's really good, because especially like White Lantern figures.
Or figures that can't... it would help against Invincible.
It would help against...
or figures that can only take so much damage at one point, like from one hit.
The Worthy and Mighty, both of them, they only... the Worthy sometimes have multiple revert clicks. Or the Worthy do. The Mighty don't, though. The Mighty usually only have 1 revert click, and it's their stop click. And then you give them a free action after that. Mm-hmm. So you have to wait till their turn to revert them. Or your own turn to revert them. So if you pop them with something like that, they hit stop click, then they clicked once, and they can't revert on their next turn.
Yeah. So the Superman's very good top dial. If you can hit and run, he has 7 range, so you can shoot from 4 when you're hypersonic, and that's what I was doing. Shoot through stealth. So I didn't give him rings at all. I gave it to the rest of my team who needed it. He didn't really benefit a whole lot. What I used him for was just picking off people who were hiding in stealth from far away and basically being distracting and making them want to focus on him so that Electro and Deadshot can just dish out.
Logically in my brain, if I'm going to blast a character on the opposing teams, usually I expect a Superman to be dishing out the damage.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And really, if you look at this dial, it's like... It's pretty good, but it's not... the top click is much scarier than the rest of the dial. Yeah. So when they see me flying around, they're like, oh shit, I gotta go after him. And then they go after him, and Deadshot and Electro just tear them apart. So that's exactly what happened. Deadshot was very good for me. He's a great piece, and I talked about him last week when I played him on Best Build. My girls' team was not very good. It was more of a fun team. It was Tabap Wonder Woman at 75, my favorite Wonder Woman. Omen... Finally played her for the first time, although I only played 1 round with her and she got the shit kicked out of her. Psylocke from Wolverine the X-Men, Rescue, and it might have been it, but I feel like there's one more. I'll think. Oh, Wasp from Chaos War. And the idea with this team was just to have fun with multiple mind controllers and multiple end caps, because Wasp has the end cap that deals pin after. Omen has multiple bolt in cap when she, if the time is right for it, and Rescue has 2 bolt in cap. Well, when I built the team earlier in the day, I was looking at my team for the girls, and I was like, my guys' team is way better. The girls' team is really good and really fun. I was like, it's 500 points. People are going to be playing a lot of figures. What does that mean? It means mind control and in cap are even better, especially mind control.
What happened first round, Hunter?
So I was like, as long as I don't go up against a bunch of small Battle Fury figures or 1 giant Battle Fury figure, I should win. First round was Harry with the 350 point Hulk with Battle Fury. So Harry had a 350 point Hulk with Battle Fury with Anger's Hammer and continuous Quake drops.
World Breaker or Hulk?
No, World Breaker. He has Battle Fury full dial, pretty much. And if you try to outwit him, he warps next to you and hits you. So meanwhile, I have a whole team of in-cappers and mind controllers who can't in-cap or mind control. So at first I tried to kill Worldbreaker. I hit him for 4 or 5. Finally, I missed first of all, my first turn was just all horrible attack rolls. And then I tried to land a little bit of damage. I did, but then of course with Quake drops, he just healed it right back up. So,
Gee, wonder what that feels like.
So after I get hit this was that, but on a much larger scale. So finally, I was just like, I'm just going to kill Cyclops. I'll never kill Worldbreaker. I didn't kill Cyclops. I got 0 points. I got wiped for the first time in a long time. But my other 2 matches when I played my dudes, the dudes just wrecked house. Today we played Avengers versus X-Men. It was our month 2 at the dugout. And we did a hybrid format where you play 1 booster sealed and you play exactly 1 figure from your starter set. No more, no less. You can play any point value on your starter pieces. I did let people use rings if they pulled them, just because I felt like, first of all, you're not guaranteed to pick it up. And second of all, if you do try to pick it up, or even if you do pick it up, it slows you down a little bit. So I felt like it was a little balanced. I didn't allow ATAs because, first of all, Hammer Industries ATA is extremely good. And when there's one and so is Wrecking Crew. So when you have ATAs that are that good that not most people are going to pull, I feel like it was a little bit too much of an advantage since you couldn't play outside ATAs. So I decided not to do any ATAs. But rings and figures, we'll start with Austin and talk about your team and the kind of the idea of it in a quick version of how it went.
So I opened my booster and I was playing Avengers for starters. I opened my booster and I pulled Death's Head, 20-point Magiagoon, 66-point Brothers Grimm, 35-point Pepper Potts, and what else was there? I don't even remember. Detroit Steel. So my team idea was, gee, I know we've talked shit about that Iron Man from AvX on the podcast. I wonder if he's as bad as he looks. There's bound to be something good about him for him to be costed so high with these stats. So I built a team around him. I comboed him and Detroit Steel together, both 150 to make 300. And then I threw on Pepper Potts because she does the can't do penetrating for 150 points or less to Iron Man. And then I had the Minto Intensifier ring. So I was like, and I threw the Magiagoon on there. I was like, you know what, this team's a little under cost, about 20 points, or 20, 30 points. It's not a huge deal. I'll go ahead and try it out. Pretty much, I went 0-3 that Iron Man is just as bad as he looks, if not worse. He has a severe lack of combat values. He has terrible power placement. For 150 points, you do not get this bastard is not value.
Drew would hate him.
I hate him.
He does not have value at all.
No value.
He was garbage. Easily the worst figure I've played out of those AvX starters. Easily.
He is probably the worst out of
all the Iron,
both of them.
Out of a lot of the Iron Mans I've played, he's probably the one that I've hated the most.
I think they were like, we got a couple really good Iron Mans in this Iron Man set. We shouldn't put another balling ass Iron Man in.
For 150 points, you get 7 clicks. 7 clicks. The top 2 are -2 reducers, Invul and Imperv. And then after that, it's just toughness for 3, regen for 2. But his values, 17, 18, 17, 17, 16, 16, 16. He has... His offensive cable is, he's got Pinside on his first click. That's cool. And then after that, Energy Explosion with 2 bolts, and it's okay. And then Pulse Wave with regen. He's just...
He gets a little outwit and perplexed sometimes.
Which would be great if he had that on his top dial, then maybe he'd be worth it. But the knockback generating thing was terrible because I never got a chance to use it. The opponent always had charge or combat reflexes, and I never had outwit. It seemed like I always skipped the outwit clicks. He'd get blasted for like 4. I'd miss an imperv roll or something. He'd land on ranged combat expert and energy explosion, which you can't use together anyway.
Yeah, I think he's a slightly better at the 100-point option, just because at 100 points, you're not that worried that you only get a 10 attack, because you're getting 2 bolt energy explosion. But even then, he still is the worst out of the AvX.
I think out of most of the Iron Mans I've played, he's probably the worst Iron Man I've played. I can't think that there's any of them I wouldn't rather play over him.
We could probably find
A
you
couple
one.
of the Chaos War Iron Man kind of sucked, but
True, but they at least have their niche uses, such as the triple end cap.
Punky Drewster had a good day.
Did he?
How'd your day go, buddy?
Alright, so I walked into the dugout. I was thinking, I don't know what I'm going to get this stupid fucking Iron Man.
I always love when Drew starts a story. I'm just ready. Like,
Alright,
just lay back, kick back in my popcorn.
So I'm like, alright, what could I possibly get in this booster? Austin's probably going to get a Chase or
Which I didn't.
a
For like the first time
Chase,
ever.
or perhaps a Prime or something, something stupid like Austin always gets. But I guess when I cracked open that Iron Man booster and there lie Silver Centurion, I said to myself, holy shit, what did I do to deserve this?
He physically said that out loud. He literally said, holy shit, what did I do to deserve this?
And so, as you can suggest, I was like, I gotta play this guy. So I immediately put him over there. The rest of my booster was Mandarin, Guardian, North Star, and Centurious. So I was like, alright, well, I'm going to put Centurious and North Star on this team, and I'm going to use Magic. So my team was just that, Silver Centurion, Centurious, North Star, and Magic. I went 3-0, and I got third place. The only reason I probably didn't do better was both of my games, my first two games went to time, and I was playing Silver Centurion, so I was playing, slow.
So you can build the tokens up?
Yes, and I hit all three.
Well, yeah, with Centurious,
And
if you
I
did,
never
I'd be
did-
disappointed in you.
And I never did less than 6 damage. He's stupid. Even with the changes, he's still stupid. Not as good in maybe a competitive setting, but he's still stupid.
Well, he's still good in competitive, too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's
He's
dumb.
only immune to all the major damage.
Yeah, he's
sources.
only immune to everything that matters.
It's funny, too, because the way it's worded, he just ignores all the damage.
It's all it should say, ignores all the damage.
He just ignores everything. Like, Jake, God bless his soul,
He's basically Snorlax.
tried to target me with penetrating psychic blast, and I was like, you really don't want to do that. And I'll tell you why, Jake.
It just reminds me of fucking the old Pokemon manga when Snorlax would be asleep and like they'd have Charizard flame blasted and Charizard just like scratch it, or Snorlax would just scratch his belly like, I don't care.
This guy's got 9 clicks for 161 points.
Gee, I played someone with 150 and 7 clicks that never got above a 17 defense, 10 attack, really.
If you get him off that top click, which you won't, I had to take myself off that top click.
So what was your AvX piece that you played with? The team?
Magic.
Oh, at 75?
Yeah.
Yeah, she's not bad. And you have a TK piece.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I like her for.
I had a really balanced team, and North Star just loves running around and punching things.
So I want you to tell me about Centurious because when we talked about him in Sealed, I didn't think he was all that great. He's a little overcosted even though he has a cool power, but you played him and you liked him. So
He's
talk about
pretty
him.
good. He does a really good. Okay, he's got an attack ability. He's not an attacker. He's strictly a 71 point, pretty much support piece. His attack his attack ability is friendly characters can't be the target of opposing characters' perplex, which is
That's really
pretty
good.
it's like pretty good.
Well, what's really good about this in Sealed is a lot of people will
Just an
perp down your damage to go through your reducers and stuff like
He's
that.
He's a complete counter to characters like Warblade and anyone who can perp down defense
Omen.
-2. Omen.
Yeah.
This guy shits on Omen.
He's the same point cost as her too. Like you'd be
I know.
running. You might as well just run your own Omen.
Yeah.
and his damage ability, he gets his own. He gets perplexed, and when he does, he can use it normally, or instead he may modify an attack value by +2. So the Silver Centurion with 11 attack suddenly becomes a Silver Centurion with a 13 attack, and he just starts pumping out the fist lasers or whatever, and it turns into a rave on a Saturday night.
Jesus Christ.
I don't even want to think about that team. Like, I'm sitting there thinking, this makes me more depressed because I forgot Drew ran Silver Centurion and pulled him. Because I was so, like, my team was so bad today. And then knowing that Drew pulled Silver Centurion for 11 more points and was that much better than my piece, I just want to, like, strangle Drew right now.
Well, you're going to want to strangle Hunter, too, when he tells you how well he did.
I went 3-0 as well.
I hate this game. I'm done.
Hey, watch my
Whoa!
Oh, those are your clicks then.
I pulled the common Iron Man. Who else was in
I would have rather had that common Iron Man at
Well,
150.
of course you
yeah,
would.
he's
good.
fucking stupid.
Let me look through here, see who I had. Common Iron Man.
Who was your X-Men or your Avengers?
I played Magneto at 150. I played Iron Man at 150. And then I had the Sasquatch Prime, and I played her at 99 because she is okay at 119 with her 2 clicks are worth the extra 20 points. But I figured with the point balances of the rest of my team, it's better to go with the 99 point option. And also, when you do the 99 point option, she starts with her prop.
Yeah.
First of all, this piece is good for sealed. This piece was great for sealed. She once per game she can use hypersonic, so you can activate that whenever it's optimal for you to trigger it. And a good thing about effects like that is your opponent always forgets about it.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say.
And then she has prop control when she uses it. Oh, I screwed up at one point. I think I probbed. Yeah, when she uses it during your turn, she may target a character anywhere on the map. I think
Hunter cheated first 3-0.
Yeah, I think on my last game, one of my last props, I couldn't have done it. When she uses it during your turn, she may target a character anywhere on the map.
Hunter cheated.
And then, so she has sidestep blaze for 3 clicks. And then she has 3 clicks of phasing, regen, and outwit. And the best thing about multiple clicks of regen, even though I don't usually like it, is that when your opponent sees it, that first click of regen, they think I'll hit her for 1 or I'll hit her for 2 and she'll die. No, you gotta hit her for 3.
I will say that happened to me at that Iron Man.
And she has outwit on it as well, and phasing, and I had TK with Magneto. First of all, we talked about Magneto before, how he's a sneaky good piece. Oh, God, I loved him. He was so good.
It's funny because here I expected a ton of amazing a ton of that Spider-Mans this week, and instead it was a ton of Magnetos. Like, I looked across the table and just Magnetos.
So the idea with the team was I have 2 great ranged attackers, and then I have a great prob piece, and I have I have a pulse wave with Magneto to deal with problem pieces like Spider-Man. And Iron Man has precision strike to deal with Spider-Man. So, and he has precision strike to deal with heavy reducer
was
pieces.
Was anyone playing that Spider-Man?
Yeah, my first opponent was. Yeah. Or, I'm sorry, my second opponent was.
Yeah, I only saw one the whole day.
Strack was playing him.
Yeah, that's the only person I
So, and Iron Man bust blocking. And we already have done AvX 2 at the Game Preserve, so I knew those maps, and I knew that Iron Man is really good. Like, Cyclops was really good, so I figured Iron Man would be good. I contemplated playing Cyclops and Iron Man just to be a total dick, but I changed it and went with Magneto because I wanted to try
So
Magneto.
you decided to be a giant penis instead.
Yeah, exactly.
Someone's jelly.
Yeah.
If my opponent would come to me, I would use Magneto for running shot pulse wave. If I needed to board control more like I did in the last game, then I would TK with Magneto. And the cool thing about Magneto is he gets TK for a free action with 2 tokens. So he can TK 3 turns in a row.
Yep.
Basically.
There's never a turn he can't TK.
And even though he was an expensive piece, on that map where there's lots of places to hide, keeping him in the corner with line of fire to certain tactical positions was very, very useful, especially in my last game.
And see, the other thing about using that Magneto as a TK piece is he stays in the back, and you use the Iron Man to pick off exploits and pin size, and then they can never, once they get through the Magneto's defenses, he's just a pain in the ass to actually kill.
So, great games. 2 of my opponents had Thors at 4 points.
Yeah, there was a lot of that Thor.
Which, I like the Thor, but I don't quite like him as much at full points. I think he's a lot better at his 100 points just because that top click is so sick for 100 points.
Yeah, gee, I wish my character had a top click like that at 150.
You're the one who chose him, alright?
Yeah, you had an option. You had... You had.
I really wish I would have played Scarlet Witch instead.
Anyways, good piece, good matches. Had played some good clicks today. It felt I didn't have a headache like I usually do when we go to the dugout, and played pretty well.
Yeah, we had a good day, Hunter.
Yeah, we did. We don't really care about how Austin's day went. So,
I mean,
How could this happen?
that's it for what we played. Let's move into the main topic. Let's talk about some more AvX.
AvX.
So-
Boy, that's my favorite topic.
A lot of people have, especially...
Wait a minute.
What?
Did Austin get any points?
He got 100 points. He was 0-3 with
No,
100.
I mean actual,
Oh, no, he still has 0.
You don't give 1 point for losses?
I'm just kidding. You get
I was
1.
about to say. bullshit.
That's disappointing.
So Hunter decides to post our AvX standings knowing I missed month 1, and he included me on the list anyway. So it's this huge-ass list of people with points, and then Austin,
Just
0.
so I could put you in 0 points.
I was so happy.
I was so mad.
Well, this main topic is especially going to be helpful for new players because we've had some people email us and say,
Don't touch me, Drew.
hey, my event's been running AvX events. My venue's been running AvX events where I can play Silver Age X-Men and Silver Age Avengers, and I don't know what's good and what's not.
Mm-hmm.
So, or even you think about sets that are modern age but old, like Chaos Wars, especially, what we'll be talking about a lot, that a lot of new players have missed out on if they started playing over the last
Hunter,
year.
It makes me feel really old knowing Chaos War is considered old.
I know, right?
I know, doesn't it? I mean...
It actually makes me really old knowing Galactic Guardians is old and about to cycle out.
Yeah.
So, what we've done is take, and these will not be, of course, these are arguably top 10 X-Men and top 10 Avengers.
I'm sure we'll get angry emails about this one threatening
Yeah,
our lives.
and there were a lot of pieces where they, like the 10, I'll say that the number 10 slot on each section rotated out once or twice. Like there were multiple pieces vying for that last
I can
spot.
see multiple markouts.
I was going to say, when I was sitting there trying to guess them earlier, like, what would you put on the top 10? Like, I probably went through 4 or 5 pieces you said barely got etched out of the 10th slot.
Yeah. So, what you'll notice when I go over these is almost all of the X-Men's best pieces, even though we just got a couple good one giantly great X-Men set. Still, most of the best X-Men pieces are Silver Age, or at least half of this list. And whereas Avengers, I only have 1 Silver Age Avengers piece on here because
you don't love Black Panther.
yeah, that's true. How about this? I'll let you do an honorable mention for Black
I'll do an
Panther.
honorable mention for that Black
Let's
Panther.
start with
whether you let me or not.
Let's start with X-Men, and these are not in any particular. I'll go from number 10 to number 1, but they're not necessarily in perfect order. But number 10, Tab Wolverine, who I feel is the best Wolverine for the points, and that's very arguably because there are a bunch of pretty good Wolverine.
like Days of Future Past Wolverine.
Yeah, and of course we haven't.
if he was out, he would be on this.
We haven't got to play with him yet. But I feel like, I think the new Wolverine and this Wolverine are my 2 favorites, the 2 best. Tab Wolverine, if you want to follow along with us, go to hcrealms.com unit section and type in these and follow along with us. Tab 004, he has traded toughness, because when you look at that dial, you're like, he never has anything. He has willpower and then regen stop clicks. But he has toughness 24/7. He has charge exploit top dial. Next dial, Flurry Blades. Third dial, Flurry or Exploit. And then a stop click right smack in the middle with regen, by the way. And then and toughness on top of the regen. Because we talked about how it's really nice to have something on top of your regen to help protect
funny
you.
it is, because this has happened before, where you have like traded toughness or a hammer giving toughness, and your opponent's like, I'm going to peg him for 1 damage. You're like, hammer!
Yeah. Then we got, then right after that, Charge Blades, and then Flurry or Exploit. So he always has great close combat capabilities. He has a surprising 4 range, which will catch people off guard every now and
Wait,
then.
what?
Yeah, he
How
has
does
4
that even
range.
make sense?
And he has excellent keywords. Avengers and X-Men and X-Force and Weapon X. But having Avengers and X-Men keywords is always great.
Little off topic. How come they've never made a Wolverine that has a really good like Blades giant reach where he just swings wide and just goes...
There is the old Shield Wolverine that I played when we very first started who has like 6 range, which is like, this Wolverine has 6 range, but he has 6 range.
But I just mean like giant...
I know what you mean.
It's because of Heroclix.
Well, first of all, freaking Wolverine's like 5'8", and has like
This is
stubby
true.
little arms. Like he's little and fast.
Have you seen the hitbox on Drill Claw? It's huge. Like I said, Drill Claw.
Oh man, Drew bringing us back. And the cool thing is, if you get down dial on that late regen and you can get some lucky rolls, you'll go back past your stop clicks again.
I've fought this Wolverine once, and the most frustrating thing is, oh, I'm gonna blast him. Stop click. Well, shit, I'm pretty sure he'll just take some damage and die after this, and you blast him again. Stop click, and you're like, ah!
So either this Wolverine or the new Days of Future Past Wolverine would be your number 10 slot. Number 9 is a piece that we've mentioned before, Wolverine the X-Men Gravity Feed version of Jean Grey. And that's because, as we said before, not only is she a great support piece for your team, carrying multiple people and healing and enhancing and TKing and mind controlling and supporting and all that good stuff, but she also can attack herself. Like, she can hold her own. And I think, Austin, did you ever play her?
That Jean Grey?
Yeah.
I played her once, and
Okay.
she's just a monster. Like,
Yeah.
that enhancement on top of it is great because you can bring your people into position, place them, and then she provides enhancement for all of them that are placed. And so next turn, it's just a giant blast.
The cool thing about her is, like I said, she can fight while supporting your team. Because if you guys want to follow along, it's Wolverine X-Men 209 Jean Grey. She has running shot, and she can carry she can, first of all, carry 3 other X-Men. And when she does, she doesn't take negative for the carry. And she has, look at that attack value for a freaking Jean Grey, which is something you don't think of having great combat values. An 11 attack, 3 damage, Psychic Blast. So, and I also talked about this whenever I played her a long time ago, when I won that event with the X Factor team that one time at GP. 8 range nowadays is so good. Like, when you're playing against other pieces that only have a 6 range outwit, and a 6 range this and a 6 range that, having that extra 2 range, especially 2 bolts, is what is a difference maker. And then even when she goes off of her offensive clicks, she gets Mind Control TK, Mind Control Support, Force Blast TK, Force Blast Support TK. Like, she's always useful. There's not a bad click. And enhancement, too, by the way.
You know what I love about her? Even 100 points. With all the AvX stuff being 150, 125, they're all even intervals of 25.
And at the beginning of your turn, she moves your whole team for 1 token.
Yep.
I mean, that sums it up right there. You'll notice there's going to be 3 different Jean Greys on this list. That's how good.
As I told you earlier, we were building for AvX Month 2 at Game Preserve, and Phil runs a Highlander rule. And I submitted my first team build, and it had Jean Grey, Marvel Girl, and Dark Phoenix on it. And Phil's like, "Yeah, we have Highlander." And I'm like, "Crap." There's so few Jean Grey pieces printed that aren't good, or that are, yeah.
Next up is a guy who didn't make the cut at first, and then I kept debating whether I wanted him or Fast Forces Professor X. I ended up going with this guy, barely edged out, and that's 50-point GSX 031 Angel. Angel has, first of all, he has a 10 movement flight with charge. And you're like, oh, that's pretty good, but not that impressive. Well, it's that in combination with this damage ability what makes him so sick. When using flight, Angel ignores negative modifiers from the carry ability and doesn't have his speed value when using charge. So not only does he charge 10 full squares, he can carry somebody with him. And he has super senses. So what you want to do with this guy...
Like some sort of Wolverine that wouldn't have a good movement attack.
Yeah, exactly. If you have a Wolverine that has flurry blades at the moment, or you have somebody who needs
Stubby legs can't get in there.
who needs to get in, you can take Angel, charge 10 squares in, drop your friendly behind you, and now you're tying them up with your super senses, and your friendly can running shot around to wherever they need, or charge in on a different figure wherever they need, in position where they need to go.
Or some sort of toad if you want to be that douchebag.
Just dropping toads all over the place.
So, while his dial is not super sexy, you got to think of point efficiency. Like Drew says, for 50 points, this dude is value. He gets Drew's value stamp of improvement. We need to get Drew a little stamp that says value. Let's talk about Drew. I'll let you talk about
Son of a bitch.
this next sexy beast.
Is it who I think it is? Yeah, it's Web of Spider-Man
God, I'm
Nightcrawler.
so tired of this guy already from AvX.
Okay, so what's good about Web of Spider-Man Nightcrawler?
What's not good about
everything?
No. We're better off talking about the negatives.
Okay.
He doesn't have Psychic Blast.
His
not.
actual damage output isn't amazing,
He
but that's not what makes him good.
He only has 6 clicks for 86 points.
Yeah, good luck hitting him.
So,
freaking shit
what-
changing a 19 for 86 points.
with a Spider-Man Nightcrawler, he's got a movement ability. He can use hypersonic speed, stealth, and the carry ability. You're like, okay, does he have flight? No, but he ignores the effects of terrain.
Oh,
Just terrain.
And characters.
And characters on movement.
he's got a 14 movements. Oh no, -2. Now I'm above average on movement.
Oh,
That's
no.
if you carry. If you don't carry, he's getting full freaking map.
And what's that? You really wanted to hit him. Too bad he's standing in freaking stealth because he can find hindering somewhere with a 14 movement.
When Nightcrawler uses hypersonic speed, a target hit by a close combat attack may be placed adjacent to Nightcrawler after the power action resolves.
So he's basically...
The single most annoying asshole ever printed in Heroclix, and I hope he dies.
Oh, we're not done.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, I guess it is.
His
I mean, that's not even
defense,
hyperbole.
his defense is a 19 on an 86-point piece.
I wish I had a 19 defense on my 100.
He's got X-Men team ability like the mother trucker he is. So if he gets knocked off of that, he'll just heal right back up with an X-Men team
They
ability.
printed
So
figures.
I'm not that scared of the 19.
But
it's-
Hunter,
it's
he can use super senses.
God dang.
Whenever he uses super senses to evade an attack, you may immediately move him up to half his speed value.
7 squares. I forgot about that. Jesus
Dude,
Christ.
do you know the last month I've played against him 3 times. My first attack is like I'm about to blast him for 7 damage. I'm going to get him off this damn map. I get through the shape change. He hits that super senses, and it's just like I don't even know why I try anymore. I'm just done with this game. He's the single most annoying. Between the fact he's an 86-point utility piece alone, he'd be amazing. But he's an 86-point piece of shit annoyance that I'm so tired of playing against it isn't even funny.
Dwayne, are you listening?
Yeah, Dwayne.
They're a kid in Dwayne. I love you.
Of course you do. You beat him every time you play him.
I love Dwayne. He's funny.
I love
I do
Dwayne
love
too.
Dwayne.
Dwayne's the most chill
He's
guy
the only
ever.
person I'm not upset when he sets Nightcrawler across the table from me.
He's like, what do you want me to do? I'm like, play a different piece, asshole.
Even Precision Strike, this guy's still
I mean, you
really
still have
hard to
shape
hit.
change in 19.
Oh, great. I got this sweet 9 attack precision strike, Hunter. You think I can hit this 19 defense?
You gotta get in melee first because he's in stealth too,
You're
damn
gonna
it.
blow my damn speakers. Yeah, Nightcrawler is, now that Drew's done with this story, Nightcrawler is a pain in the ass. He used to be a huge meta piece. Everybody,
they
experienced
printed
player, experienced players are very familiar with him
Nightcrawler, Metron.
and how good he is. Moving on,
Thank God.
AvX Cyclops. You should already have this piece, so you don't have
Just
to run
buy
out
him.
and pick it up.
Fuck, you stupid.
Now, personally, I like him at 100 points because he's
Yeah.
squishy at either one, and I feel like if what you're playing him for is the 8 range through blocking and the outwit. He has all that on his top dial. So why not just... I think he's better off starting him at 100 points, saving the 50 points for other pieces on your team,
Yeah.
and because he needs to stay at range.
Let's see what you get for 100 points, top dial. You get Force Blast running shot, and when he uses running shot after actions resolve, he can use Force Blast as a free action.
Now you're like, that doesn't make any sense. Why would he want to Force Blast? Well,
I don't
first of
know.
all...
Double wall tap.
First of all, he has Sharpshooter, so he can shoot the person. He can run up, shoot you, and then Force Blast you into a wall. Or he has a ability that hopefully a Hawkeye in the future will get too. When he makes a ranged attack, he can make them while he's adjacent to an opposing, like Colossals can. So Cyclops can run up, base your Cap, and then shoot your Thor from while he's basing Cap, and then he could Force Blast Cap into a wall, basically.
Mm-hmm.
I still like the double tap into a wall though.
Yeah.
You running shot someone that's already against a wall. You
Force
shoot
blast
them.
them into
They
it.
normally take the damage knockback, and then you force blast them again once they're down.
You get an
down.
8 range outwit. You get... that's
8
tough.
range outwit through blocking,
Yeah.
mind you.
Screw that! He's 100 points of leadership off freaking.
It is through blocking?
Yeah, you can
destroys
outwit through
blocking.
blocking, and then when
You told me no whenever I used him before.
I know, and then whenever Harry brought it up when he was
The
playing,
PAC states
one of you
that
guys.
the PAC states that that ability makes you ignore blocking for line of fire.
Right.
And if you make an attack, destroy
It's
the
two
block.
separate. It's two
That
separate
means-
sentences.
That means that
We look-
Iron Man can also outwit through blocking
That
without
is
destroying.
stupid.
We were researching it a couple weeks ago. And then the leadership, he can take off any X-Men, even whenever there are more points than him. So I think you start him at 100 points. He's very efficient. He's very good. You already have him in your starter, so that when you have to play an event where you have to use one piece in your starter, like we did today, this is the guy you want to reach for if you're playing X-Men most of the time.
Is that Ruler in X-Men?
Yeah, Ruler and X-Men Keywords.
You know what he's great for? This is not AvX related, but when you're playing those Ruler teams that have a lot of expensive pieces,
Leadership
that
and
is
tokens.
perfect.
And you brought that up a long time ago when we first pulled him. Actually, you guys did. Or maybe it was Drew.
Yeah, because Drew is playing a Ruler team.
I specifically remember you guys bringing that point up. That's pretty
because
funny.
it's great.
The other Cyclops that actually made the cut is GSX Cyclops at number 008.
And he's ridiculous.
The cool thing about him is, first of all, his dial is pretty good already. He's 110 points, running shot, willpower for quite a bit. Get some Psy Blast in here and there. But what's the absolute best thing about him is, first of all, traded leadership, and then traded when any friendly character uses X-Men, heal 2 damage instead of
You know
1.
what that combo is amazingly with? That Angel that carries and free X-Men's.
You know what else it carries amazingly with?
Anyone with X-Men.
The Colossus, who gives you free action X-Men team ability from the same starter.
Why don't I play all 3 of them together?
You should. That's the first when I saw Colossus's ability to use X-Men for free, I was like, GSX Cyclops, perhaps? This combo looks tasty. Then at points in his dial, he gets either RCE or a special Force Blast. After his Force Blast resolves, his target's defense value is now... If his target's defense value is 16 or less, he deals damage to his target equal to half his D6 roll for Force Blast.
Now, this is the old Force Blast. So
He'll get errated. In fact, we'll have to check the
I
player's
was going to
guide.
say we're going to need to double check because
He
I
may
think
be.
they probably updated it.
Yeah, he probably got an update. A lot of those Force Blast pieces probably got an update. There's actually Tab App GSX or Tab App Cyclops probably got updated.
His will
as well.
probably say something along when he uses Force Blast as a power action or something.
One I accidentally skipped over made it. We talked about Nightcrawler and Storm Spot. 'Cause Nightcrawler was supposed to be higher up on the list.
Nightcrawler better be.
Nightcrawler was number 2. I'm giving away my.
It's worse than Nightcrawler!
I'm giving away a trade secret here, and I want to say that this is my favorite Storm.
Is it the Mutations and Monsters?
Mutations of Monster Storm 057, and she got better with the PAC changes.
Yeah, she
And
is.
I haven't seen her played since the PAC changes.
Because she's stupid.
100 points, 10 range, 2 bolts. This is 057. 10 range and 2 bolts with Force Blast and Energy Explosion. That's what you need to know.
Wow.
With a running
really?
shot, 10 range. So a 15 square swing with Energy Explosion and Force Blast. Then she has Energy Shield because she's going to be staying at range the whole time. So
Okay, Hunter.
it's going to be hard to hit her.
You should drop her the ring that gives penetrating damage on wall hitting and get them on a tight corridor map and be like, boom.
Don't listen to this guy. He's coming up with these dirty ideas.
What were you going to say about the trade secret, huh?
This Storm is a trade secret. Nobody ever plays her.
What did we just get to talk about 8 range being really good now?
Yeah, 10 range?
Nah, 10 range sucks.
With a 5 square running shot?
10 range is terrible.
And then first of all, you're force blasting them away from you to make them keep having to run in. They're never going to reach you, first of all.
Correct.
That is one thing they clarified, though, with Energy Explosion and Force Blast. They made sure, because it was a commonly asked question, and we kind of knew this, but if you get Force Blast off Energy Explosion, the knockback isn't relative to the character's hit. It's relative to you.
Yeah.
So if you knock them back, everyone goes back one square. Yeah.
And what you do is you move the farthest people away from her get
First.
knocked back
Yeah.
first. Yeah. Yeah, I've always known how that.
We knew it's one of those things that they had to clarify because it is.
She is definitely a piece in Drew's Silver Age quality corner value. Silver
Quality
Age value corner.
That's a new segment coming soon. I'm gonna make it happen.
Well, let's make it happen.
Silver Age. What was this?
I'll
what
look
was
up
it? Tell me again. I'm gonna write it down. What's it called?
Drew Silver Age value corner.
Value corner.
I think you said quality corner.
I did say quality
corner.
Drew Silver Age
value.
value corner.
Yeah,
'Cause
there you go.
like that. All right, new segment coming soon to a theater near you. Yeah, so pick her up. She's pretty cheap. She's she is like $10. She was the SR from that set.
Yeah, she's.
But personally, I
expensive.
like her. She's a sneaky piece. Chances are your opponent's not going to know what the hell she is or what the hell she does. So you're
That's
going to
always
take
a
her by
big
surprise.
advantage.
Take
over
it all the
most
way to the bank.
All right, our next Jean Grey on our list.
Our next Jean Grey on our list.
You can either pull up Universe 073 Jean Grey or Infinity Challenge 049 Jean Grey. They're the same thing. They're just a
Hunter, what
reprint.
would you be getting for 31 points?
For 31 points, you get the X-Men team ability. First of all, for 31 points, that's pretty good. And TK for 3 straight clicks.
And if your place isn't running a Highlander rule, you get a yo-yo off 2 of those.
Yep.
And then, of course, it's like, 2 more for your team, or your theme team for map choice.
She's got survivability from range 2 with the 16 energy shield on top click.
Which sounds funny in today's game, but honestly, an 18
For a
from
31
range for a
point figure?
31 point piece. Yeah.
She would have been fucking nuts in the old game. You would not be able to kill this bitch.
Dude, back when the game first started, it was like the best.
What are you
one
gonna
of the
do?
best pieces.
What are you gonna do? Hit my Jean Grey with a 19 defense through hindering with your
your
8
8
attack?
With your 6 attack.
Get out of here, kid.
Yeah.
She's got a 4 attack bottom click.
So you're not going to be using her for attacking.
Okay, Drewster.
Drew's going to blow my speakers today.
Sorry, I'm really excited.
What did you put in this drink, Austin? You got it
It's a
all
long
riled
story.
up today. Catnip in there.
I did really well at it.
Well, if you heard the before song conversation.
TK and X-Men, very good combo. For only 31 points, she brings ton to the table. She's tons of value. She's very cheap to pick up. If
I
you
got
can
him
find
saying
her
value
online.
now, guys.
Number 3 is M10 Dark Phoenix.
Oh boy.
Go figure.
The only bad thing about this piece is it's going to cost you a pretty penny to pick up
Hell
if you
yeah.
don't already have. Because,
I remember when I told you that she was up that high, and your eyes were like, what?
well, when this was one of I bought more of this set than I bought of any other set. Because
I
when
remember.
we
it
did
was
our
like Christmas when we opened them.
when we did our garage games, first of all, I got a full case of each, and I got a bunch because I would give them out to you guys as prizes. So I knew all the values on these figures. And when Dark Phoenix first came out, the most she ever sold for was like $20. And then as people started playing her over the next couple months, they're like, holy shit, this thing's stupid. And now her value has shot up to like $40. So it's going to be hard to pick her up, but if you're interested in picking her up, she's one of the better X-Men pieces.
You could
And
probably get her for like
and the thing
35 in a
is-
trade.
The thing is, at all her dials, she's good. It's not just one, it's any of them.
Yeah, and pull her up. M10 Anniversary 021 Dark Phoenix at 300 or 200 or 100. She's worth her points. Personally, though, I think most of the time I use her at 100 points.
Same.
Because she has Running Shot, Pulse Wave with a 10 range, so that's a 5 movement plus 5 squares, so a 10 square swing on Pulse Wave.
No.
That's pretty good. And she has Incap 10 range, Outwit 10 range.
Yeah, that's...
That's freaking nuts.
I played her, I played her month 1 of AvX at GP.
yeah, because you're a terrible person, and continue.
Yep. Says the guy who played Silver Centurion.
Hey, alright, listen. The thing is, I got
So
it
I
in a
played her month
booster.
1 at AvX GP, and I TK'd her with that magic for 75 points, and I was playing her at, I think, 200 points with the Book of Skulls. She was a monster. Like, that Pulse Wave, if you play her on a map with a lot of blocking, and you can kind of pin in an opponent with just that Pulse Wave, it's ridiculous. And she has the Super Senses as a trait for only 6.
Traded Super Senses on a 6. When she KO, and most people forget this when they play her. And I don't ever tell them because it's
I
a
forget
May.
about it too,
It's not
yeah.
an effect. You don't have to do it, so I never tell them when they forget. When Dark Phoenix KOs an opposing character, you may heal her of 1 damage. Then she has... Okay, so, first of all, you got amazing attack capabilities and great range on your piece. Then she helps she helps the rest of your team out. Because she has a stop click with an 18 defense, and when it's revealed stop turning the dial, she cannot use her super senses anymore, but when she takes damage, heal all other friendly characters that share a keyword, so in this case, X-Men, with her of 2 damage.
That's a lot.
2
of healing.
damage for the rest of your X-Men.
Oh, hi, you're a team of 4 people. That's 8 consecutive total healing.
And what this does effectively, and because I've played against her a lot, is it makes you not want to attack her. And because then you feel like you're going to wait, like your whole game is going to waste because you killed her, but then the rest of the dudes heal. So it's like you either have to go after her headstrong or not at all and save her till the end. And if you save her till the end, she's pulse waving and having ridiculous ranges on
I
Outwit.
have no idea what you're talking about.
And she's really controlling the board, so
And
she is an excellent piece.
She's really good in combo with both the Phoenix Force resource and the Book of Skulls. Like, with a resource, she's a monster.
So if you don't know what our top piece is yet, you clearly don't.
So number 1, best X-Men in Hunter's opinion.
It's not. It's
Not Hunter's opinion. This is...
a fact.
Professor X from GSX 036. He is 123 points, and what you want to do with this cat is sit him in his cool wheelchair, his little hover
That's
chair,
a pretty damn cool wheelchair.
and
Not be able to
this
see
is
his dial.
this is what hover rounds will be in the future. Everybody, get a good look at this, because by the time we're old, this is what we're going to be rolling around.
I'm going to be going around style.
I'll shave my head and I'll just sit there with my fingers on the edge of my head.
Me and Drew are going to be in some wheelchairs when we're old. We're going to be playing virtual Heroclix in our brains.
Yep,
Just sitting in our little hover chairs playing virtual Heroclix on our
That's
little...
how I'm going out.
What you do is you keep him in your starting
Like
area.
how I'm not included in that. Am I just not allowed to play?
You're dead by this point. You keep him in your starting
I
area.
piss off the wrong guy.
And if you keep him in your starting area, he can draw line of fire and
Don't
count
touch me.
and count range. He can draw lines of fire and count range for his speed, attack, and damage powers from the square of any X-Men of any friendly character who he shares keyword with in this point in this option X-Men. So you have, and he has an 8 range, by the way. So if it wasn't stupid enough that you're drawing through your own guys, you're drawing through your guys at an 8 range. And he can use his mind control. Excellent option, especially after the buffs. Because this guy was ridiculous before mind control got buffed.
Yeah, seriously.
Mind control got
I've played him so many times and I never get tired of him.
Psychic Blast and Outwit. So you now effectively have nowhere to hide from his Outwit. It's coming for you.
It's coming.
We gonna find you.
He's gonna find.
We gonna find
He
you.
gonna find.
And by the time that you get back to the opponent's starting area to deal with him, he's already dished out 123 points worth of damage on your ass.
That's right.
And he has super senses to kind of help on top of that.
What about the rest of his outwit power, Hunter?
And so if you get past his first 3 clicks of his mind control, psychic blast, super senses, he gets on to 3 clicks of incap, willpower, and a special damage ability. It's outwit again, but once per turn when he uses outwit to counter a standard power, he can immediately use outwit again, but only to counter a power of the same color.
And I want to bring up, I've used this before to remove 2 charges off of 2 different people. Holy crap, the amount this slows down the game. You're like, okay, so you incap 2 people through one of your own people at 8 range, and you're like, okay, now I'm going to outwit their charge. You could drastically slow the game down with this one piece on 2 figures, and it's great.
This guy's not all that much to pick up. He's usually around $10, 8, 9, $10. He was only a rare from GSX, so I'd highly suggest getting him if you're especially if you play X-Men teams all the time.
The other great thing about him though is with X-Men team ability, if you have one of those 30-point Jean Greys or whatever that's just TK'd out already, and he's taking damage somehow, oh, he's already back here just getting...
Or with that, you can go ahead and push him because you don't care, since you'll heal him back up with X-Men team ability. That'll do it for our X-Men. We're going to move into Avengers. Again, these are in no exact order, but let's start off with the spot that took number 10. I didn't have him in number 10 at first, and I took somebody out, put him in just because I felt like he barely needed the nod. And that is the piece I played today, Invincible Iron Man 001 Iron Man. At both his 300 and 150 point options, he's good, but I think most of the time you're going to play him, and personally I like him better at 150. He's all about the top click. You want to keep him on the top click, but the rest of his dial is pretty good too.
Yep.
He's got running shot, 8 range, 2 bolts, with an 11 attack, precision strike, and 4 damage. And you say, Hunter, that's pretty good. Yeah, he kind of shoots through everything.
Or outwits through everything.
And outwits through everything. He has improved targeting, ignores hindering, and blocking. So, especially on maps like today where it's full of blocking terrain, he can shoot right through it. You're guaranteed the alpha strike. He can hide behind blocking and outwit you while you still have to move around to get to him. So basically, he can outwit your move and attack so that you can't move around a corner and then shoot him. You have to move and then shoot him. He can really control the pacing of the game. That's what I was doing with him today. And then Precision Strike, so freaking good, especially with 2 bolts. The more bolts you got with your Precision Strike, the better.
Hi, I'm Longshot. Herp to derp to
This
derp.
dude,
If you watch,
so sick.
if you watch the game of Harry and I on YouTube, this is what he plays.
Besides the best after game commentary ever made.
This is what he plays, and I just gave up immediately. So
It's like I got 3 shield snipers in this thing in the middle of Realm of Death.
no, it was 2 shield snipers and
Victoria hand.
Victoria Hand.
Close enough.
So he had a
11 range.
14 top dial attack, 11 range, 7 damage. So I couldn't do anything. So I just ran in and died.
So you want to keep this guy at ranged. Let your other guys move in a little bit first before you let him kind of run around and do his thing. But he's well worth his points. Great dial all the way down, and he picks up regen at some key points in the dial. That's our number 10. Number 9, a Chaos War piece, which will be bringing up a lot of Chaos War pieces. That was an excellent meta set.
It was an Avenger set.
Sharon Carter,
God, Sharon Carter.
45 points. And what you're playing her for is mainly her trait. Sharon Carter and adjacent friendlies with Avengers can use stealth. Keyword. Avengers keyword. Can use stealth. And she has the shield team ability. So what you want to do is move up, purposefully push her onto her second click, where you now have stealth herself and an adjacent friendly ranged attacker, like one of her best friends now is the new Iron Man that we just talked about. You give that Iron Man stealth while he gets to shoot through stealth, and you give him +1 range, and you can power action give him +1 damage.
Hunter, if
you have Perplex on top of that.
Only if there were this, 13-point piece that could be dropped a ring that could throw, a smoke cloud out every turn.
If only there was also freaking willpower shield team ability. I can't get... That's the best combo for shield ability. And I played her like a ton with that War Machine Iron Man duo, because they see through stealth and they have stealth. So they sit there and stealth safely, shoot through at a huge range. They get the bonuses from shield on top of it every turn, or 2 out of 3 turns. And it's great. And as Drew said, you throw her a ring that gives a free action like Blacklight or something like that, and it's ridiculous.
So what you do for 45 points is she provides you with 3 +1s at the same time. Mm-hmm. She's giving you Perplex on whatever you need it on. She's giving you +1 range from the shield passively, and +1 damage from the shield actively, and she's stealthing your friendly Avengers on top of that. And it's not limited to one character. It's any adjacent friendlies with Avengers keyword.
And I do want to say one thing about the X-Men. The X-Men really don't have a lot of ways to look through stealth besides Pulse Wave.
That's true. I hadn't really thought about that.
This, for example, shuts down that Professor X really well.
Mm-hmm. And one thing that we have been talking about on the Corey, actually, and off air on the Corey a lot too, is how stealth is making a huge comeback in the metagame. Because back about a year ago, you had a lot of ways to see through stealth. You had, first of all, Superman pieces were big.
Yeah.
Avengers Initiative pieces were big. Or Thunderbolts choosing Avengers Initiative. Now with the inclusion of the Blacklight Ring and some good key pieces like Silver Centurion.
And some good line of fire blockers that aren't stealth, they're blocked line of fire.
Yeah. You have stealth is making and the Batman cowl has helped too. Stealth is making a comeback, and therefore Sharon Carter is making a comeback, and she's a very cheap piece to pick up. She'll be 50 cents online.
She's an
online stores.
uncommon. So
There's no reason to not have her.
Honestly, in my personal top 10 list of figures I want for AvX, she's definitely like my top 3. Like, she's one of those pieces that if I'm building an Avengers team constructed, she's basically on all of them.
Number 8 slot goes to Silver Centurion. We're not going to dwell on him too much because we talked about him ad nauseum. He's very expensive, but he's very great. He's very good to build around, particularly if you have something to give him willpower, especially if you have a utility belt to give him willpower and stealth from the Batman cowl, stealth 24/7.
We were talking about finesse pieces, and I feel like, Silver Centurion's stupid, but without a resource, he really is a finesse piece.
A little bit. He does get a decent chunk of running shot.
He
at
does.
times, but
And
sometimes
some
he
sort
has
of
stealth.
9 clicks.
But you can play it to his advantage and stealth yourself if they've got a ranged heavy team.
Yeah.
Or, just keep on running shot and blasting from 8 squares away. It's up to you, and you also have to move that stupid tornado around.
Torpedo.
Whatever.
Number 7. Number
I
7.
wonder what you were talking about when you were talking about tornadoes over walls and stuff like that.
Tornado!
It's torpedo.
At number 7, I'm going to put Chaos War Hawkeye. Chaos War Hawkeye because he's very versatile.
No, really?
Yeah. And I almost didn't include him on this list. That's how good.
What?
That's how good. How many great Avengers pieces there are, though. Honestly,
But he is like one of those quintessential pieces.
He's got to be on the list.
He's probably one of the best ranged pieces they have access to.
for 98 points, I think he's great to own because he fits on lots of different teams. First of all, he has good keywords: Avengers, Great Lakes, and Shield and Thunderbolts. First of all, he has two of the biggest keywords in Avengers and Shield, and then he has freaking Thunderbolts on top of that. So with the inclusions of the Thunderbolts ATA, and the fact that he's a freaking wildcard on top of that, he can see through stealth from Avengers Initiative, he can copy Mystics from the Scarlet Witch that's on your team, he can copy Shield himself so that he buffs the rest of your enhanced ball up +1 or whatever. He has Running Shot and Stealth, and a 9 range triple bolt sharp shooting 12 attack.
Doesn't seem good to me.
With some energy explosion too.
And then he has willpower on top of that, so you keep him in stealth, you keep him at range, let him do his thing, run around and stay in the shadows, popping shots, and then later when they finally hit him, he goes on to Energy Explosion. When he does, after actions resolve, give 1 action token to each character hit by the attack.
Yeah,
So
that's not
Hunter,
good.
it's not good enough that he's a 98.3 bolt energy explosioner. He also gets freaking an action token on top of it dealt to all of them.
And you know what's good about that? Usually when we see pieces that...
What's good about that, Hunter? I don't know. Just every damn thing I just listed.
Okay, what's even better about that
That's
is,
better.
is usually when we see pieces that do something like that, Energy Explosion and tokens, it usually has some kind of clause like only if they have 0 tokens.
Or if they have, or they only have 1 bolt with something like that.
Or only if they took only if they took
Even
damage.
if they have no tokens, it's still fucking stupid.
I know, I'm saying like this has no caveat on it. It's just straight give tokens to every person who gets hit by it.
I don't give a damn. You get a token.
This
You
is-
get a token.
This
and
would be
everybody
so
gets a
stupid
token.
against any of Boston zombie teams because they like to group
Yeah,
together.
and I've played against him with a zombie team, and it's just I scooped like halfway across the board.
Number 6 is M10 Iron Man. A piece
Really?
we've talked about him quite a bit. He's
quite a bit covers it, Hunter.
You're going to want to own him for events at your venues, AvX events that allow resources. He'll be a good option to have.
Especially since people are trying to be creative and let you play the Phoenix Force only. And when given the option to play only one specific resource, most people are going to take it. I know that's why I took it when we played a few weeks ago.
He's better at 125 for his points, and also if you do play him at the cheaper version, if you don't run up against a resource, at least you didn't waste a full 225, on the piece.
Yep. I've done that before.
Pretty good attacker, pretty good at range. His trades where he makes his money, and that's all we're going to say about him. He's worth owning, period, not just for Avengers teams. Number 5 spot I'm going to give to the 100-point AvX Scarlet Witch.
I think we've talked about her.
Another piece we
extensively.
talked about a lot lately. You know her trait, how she takes away opposing team abilities. You know her prob, support, and perplex all in the same power. I don't know why they thought that was a good idea, but apparently they did.
They were like,
Hey, what all support pieces exist in the game of or powers exist in the game of Heroclix? Let's
Okay.
give her
I
all
want
of
to
them.
ask this, though. I haven't read a ton of stuff with Scarlet Witch in it. Is she always like the quintessential support for the team? Because every time I see her, she's like hex maging shit.
Well, the thing is, when we say support in Heroclix, we talk about manipulating the battlefield and manipulating people,
True.
and that's what she does. And
Yeah.
she takes shots, she takes precision or psychic blast shot. They represent her pretty well, I think.
Okay.
She
Because
does. They
I've
don't
always-
give her running shot, which is good because that's not what she does.
Yeah.
She kind of flies around, controls people either through not necessarily mind control, but like manipulation. That's what she deserves. It's just they make her a little too good.
I want to see
for
one,
her points.
I want to see a Scarlet Witch that like manipulates positioning, so like she swaps 2 figures places or crazy.
Oh, you
stuff
mean
like that.
TK, like the 75-point version has?
Except people don't use TK.
if
like
they
that.
ever make another Dota 2 set, if they give a Vengeful Spirit, that
That would be awesome.
If you guys are interested on Scarlet Witch, I have a YouTube on our YouTube channel. I have her rules explanation video where I go in detail about her trait and certain situations that come up. Because this is a piece that you're going to play against a lot or play with a lot.
I play it extensively outside of AvX. I play it in AvX. There's just it's good.
She's stupid.
Donald Blake,
Really.
number 4. Although
Donald
he could
Blake.
easily go in the number 1 slot, to be totally honest.
The
Donald
number
Blake.
of games I've lost because this with 0 points, mind you, because this bastard exists is frustrating.
Donald Blake is only 33 points. he is a medic. That's what he'd do. In fact, they wanted him to be so only a medic that they traded him where you can't mod his values and give
Like
him
that's
plus,
a big negative for it.
so you can't give him 1 damage to hit anybody.
Oh, darn.
Oh no! Why would you need to modify that great attack value that he has?
He has an 11 attack for a medic, which is just freaking sick.
So if you're already on the high end with an expensive 18 piece, oh no, you need an average roll.
Listen, they changed support so your attack values can't be modified. That doesn't affect this son of a bitch. He's still a douchebag, and he'll always be a douchebag.
Wait, did they change support?
Support?
Yeah.
No, support's always been modified,
yeah.
or at least since we've been
I
playing.
thought
I
it was-
didn't know that. So what the hell's the point of the combat value modification trait?
No, it's so that, like I said, it's so that you can't give him damage to make an attack.
Oh gosh, a whole damage, Hunter?
You asked what the point was. I'm telling you what the fucking
a
point is.
whole damage?
I'm not saying it's that
Hey,
important.
Hunter,
Oh my
what's
God.
this bastard missing? I don't know, a silver ring?
The thing that's worse is, say you hit him with 3 damage, and you're like, man, he's gonna be dead.
Or off of support at least?
He's
Yeah.
gonna have an 8 attack. This mother, he has a
It's
fucking
okay, Drew,
10.
it's okay, man.
He has a
It's okay.
10 attack his last click.
Donald won't hurt you anymore, Drew.
10 attack,
Because he's got
Hunter.
a 0 damage.
I
that
thought
can't be
he
modified.
heals, not hurts.
But
10 attack, Hunter.
I'm wondering why the hell Donald Blake, of all people, is the best medic in the game.
Cancer doctors don't have an 11 attack.
First of all, well, that's because they fail all the time. First of all,
Oh.
first of all, is he a surgeon or just a doctor? I can't remember.
But that's just his alter ego. I didn't think he was an actual doctor.
Hey, he's a doctor. He's Dr. Donald Blake.
I mean, Doctor Strange is the best medic, maybe, but
Well, that's true. Doctor Strange is a surgeon.
Has there been a Doctor Strange with support?
I'm sure.
I think there's like 1 or 2 that has it on weird clips.
SI gets
Yeah,
it at
doesn't
points,
he?
Yeah. But anyways, what they were
Anyways,
saying
screw
is
this guy.
that even when you hit him for 3, he still has good values, he still has support, and he can alter ego into 3 different doors, each of which provides you pretty good options. One of them starts with Flurry, one of them starts with Charge Exploit, one of them is the Asgardian Blizzard, which controls the battlefield a little bit.
And you know
One
what's
of them's
even
Hellboy.
dumber? The alter ego deals 1 damage to each adjacent opposing character.
Oh, I forgot about that on top of that, actually.
So see, if your opponent sits down across from you and places this bastard on the table, the first thing is you hit this guy for 4, and then you hit your opponent in the face for 4 for playing him.
Jesus Christ. Donald Blake, yeah, I almost put him at number 1, to be totally
Should have
honest.
put him at number 1, and then Sharon Carter at number 2.
Well,
Yeah.
this next guy.
Smoky Foot Cap is the only Silver Age piece that was better for the event with the Avengers than the rest of these guys. Smoky Foot Cap's only 72 points. First of all, Captain Americas in general are really stupidly
Drew,
good.
if
for
this
their
guy
points.
isn't like the flagship of your value store,
Okay, the thing about Smoky Foot Cap
we
is
open and Drew a store
here
now.
we go. The thing about with Drewster.
he's a dick. And okay, so 72 points. 72 points. What do you usually get for 72 points, Hunter?
Maybe a click or 2 of running shot, like a 10 attack, 2 damage, or 3 damage, and that's probably about it.
This guy's got
Yes.
6 clicks.
Imagine that. But with a fucking 18 energy shield.
You're trying to blow my speakers today. You're trying.
Sorry.
If I had 2...
18 energy shield.
Somebody put crack in his fucking milkshake.
I am not liable for any statements.
18 energy. Who thought? Why?
I think he's just high on victory.
That's not the most stupid thing about this guy. Well, the most stupid thing is his deflection trajectory power. His line of fire is blocked only by walls and indoor blocking.
Say, Hunter, are you standing in stealth?
Yes.
Yo, guess what? I could still hit you. Hey, Hunter, are you standing behind blocking?
Yes.
Guess I can still hit you. Hey, Hunter, are you up the damn elevated cliff?
Maybe.
Guess I can still
Hunter,
hit you.
are you 5 elevated up? He can still hit you.
Yeah, that's what's a pain in the
Are
butt.
you
Is he
5 elevated up behind a phalanx of
Are
guards?
you Black Manta behind water,
Well,
5 elevated up?
and see, the reason I go so gung-ho about being anti them putting busting blocking in the game
Yeah.
and all that stuff
Because
is,
we don't want another captain.
well, it's the fact that everybody knows how frustrating it is to deal with Cap. The only thing that's okay or makes it tolerable is that he can't hit you that hard.
Yeah, if you play on...
But you can't retaliate against Cap. At least after Iron Man shoots you, you have a path to see him. But Iron Man and Cyclops and some future guys who they give, like Darkseid and people like that who are powerful who can shoot through, are hitting you for 5 and 6 at places that above elevated. That should never be the case. You should never be able to ignore elevated hindering or elevated line.
A lot of them don't ignore elevated.
Unless you're like...
I'm sorry. That's what I'm saying. Like, but that's the next step that's going to happen. I'll go ahead and call it out now.
I do want to bring up that this son of a bitch has the shield keyword, and that measly 3 damage he deals for 72 points. You throw a couple shield snipers in there, which Drew talks about extensively in the great YouTube video.
I hate...
And all of a sudden, you have an 11 range Smoky Foot Cap with 6 damage, shooting you through god dang near everything. I mean, like, there's just... Can we go to the next figure, Hunter?
$20 if you guys don't pick him up.
Yeah, if you don't play this guy... Okay, if you don't want to win at, AvX, if you got, like...
Don't encourage them to play him, Drew.
I'm just saying...
Don't encourage them.
All right, you guys, we're talking about something else. Chill out. 75-point Chaos War Fast Forces Scarlet Witch.
Why not 50?
She's okay at 52. She's better for her points at 75.
Oh,
That's
true.
the
I forgot she doesn't get TK.
At 75, she gets TK, Perplex, Prob, and Mystic's team ability all on the same click. And that's all you really need to know. 75 points. Provides all that. She also, what a lot of people forget is, for a 75 or a 50 point, because at 50 points she has Psychic Blast, she can kind of hold her own if she needs to attack as well. She's not quite Enchantress level in counterattacking, but she's useful. And
that's really the difference between her and Enchantress, is that Enchantress is a little more offensive, whereas Scarlet Witch is a little more supportive.
And then you also have the 50-point option. Both are, like Austin said, the 50-point option is good too.
And once again,
you lose the TK, but you pick up the barrier.
Once again, you're talking about a bunch of sets where the main starter figures are all factors of 25, and it's great for just squeezing in there and saving the 75.
She's got options. If you want to be more of a offensive team, you play her 75. If you want to be a defensive team, play her 50.
Yep. She is expensive. She's going to be $40-$50 because of how good she is. And because those Chaos War Fast Forces got bought up super quick because of specifically her. Number 1, I had to put him at number 1.
Just to...
Even if he may not or may not deserve it over some of these other pieces. Yeah. We had to give our main man, White Suit Iron Fist, the number 1 spot. 80 points. Fear Self 007 Iron Fist.
I was wondering what the hell you put at number 1, and at least now I know at least there's a partial joke to it.
It's not a joke. I mean,
I wouldn't say he's like a must-have on every Avengers team, though.
No, he's top 10.
He is top 10, definitely.
Yeah, we gave him the number 1 spot because he holds a very special place in our heart here at Dialect.
Really?
Like Drew said, it was a weekly segment there for a long time.
10 years from now, he will be on my value corner.
Yeah, I was going to say, there's an aisle in Drew's value corner dedicated to...
Just like, you can
dedicated to all Iron Fist
Daily Deal of the Week.
There's a lot of good, efficient Iron Fist. This one in particular ignores basically everything on movement.
He doesn't give a damn.
Charges for the first 5 clicks, which is really all you need because his last 2 are just for regen. And he's really hard to hit too. 17 plus reflexes, and super senses.
He doesn't give a damn.
If you don't want to charge, if you've already rushed in, based them, they can't hit your 17 plus reflexes plus super senses. Next turn, you're rolling CCE. Oh, what's that on top of the CCE? When you use it and you have no tokens, if your attack total is at least 2 greater than the defense, modify +1 damage. So put both of your CCE in your attack. Roll,
it's a higher chance to
and now you're doing +1 damage on top of that. So you just got a +3 on your CC instead of +2.
And we've talked about it before with I run by the personal rule of 5, where I perplex or CC or RC into attack until it's a 5 to hit before I'll put anything in damage. And that's why this figure was a boss for me, because I guarantee the attack, and then I have a high chance to go ahead and get an extra damage out of it too. It's ridiculous for the points.
And then if their ranged pieces kind of make a move moving around and are going to blast you next turn, oh, who cares? I ignore characters. I'll just run away
was
and
gonna
hide
say-
behind this wall here for a while.
Not just that, but like, there's been so many situations where I've charged, blasted one figure, turned around, charged, blasted a different one. I mean, like, he's really great for getting in there and moving about as you need him to, and keeping your opponents on their toes, pretty much.
And, ignoring improved movement, ignoring characters in general.
So much better than people expect.
I was gonna say the thing is, and even I've noticed it when I'm playing. I always forget about it if that figure's already basing somebody, and my opponent, say you have the Iron Fist. My brain says he's based, he's tied up, and you just forget about it naturally that he can charge and hit you.
In the words of Hunter Smith, "Oh, son of a bitch!
Son of a bitch!"
Wait, did AvX Spidey not make this list?
No, but I did really, really want to include him.
Speaking of characters that ignore characters and drive me freaking bonkers.
It was him versus the 001 Iron Man. I couldn't make my decision. I had Spidey and I took Iron Man. I put Iron Man in his place.
Ranged teams are stupid.
So I tell you what, I'll let you boys mention 2 Avengers, 2 X-Men. Anybody in particular that didn't make the cut, but you feel really deserves it. Make it really, really good.
Black Panther.
Also wants to bring up Black Panther, and there's a reason that Black Panther may have, back in the day, had a slight chance of making the spot, but I decided he didn't anymore. And I'll let you talk about why.
Okay, so I love this 27-point Black Panther. I've played him extensively. He's got good keywords. The big reason I love him, he's a 27-point outwit character with stealth, and his movement doesn't count towards your action total. So if you decide to play up a bunch of these smaller figures like your Donald Blakes, your Sharon Carters to push up that map total, most of your Avengers already don't count towards move total when they move. But all this guy's going to be doing is just moving or tying up anyway. So he's just freely, I got 27 points left to fill. Oh, I'm just going to throw Black Panther on there for an extra outwit. And if your opponent takes the time to actually hit him, you kind of already have an advantage on there anyway. And I figure, I don't know, I just love him.
Yeah, I agree. The reason that I think he's lost a lot of stock in the last, year
Was the outwit nerf.
Is the outwit nerf that it used to be you park this little 27-point son of a bitch in stealth, and from 10 squares away, he stays hidden and outwits your opponent's outwit, and now you control the pacing of the game.
He's once again another not silver ring figure, so if you wanted to get particularly annoying.
But the problem is outwit, it's not a problem, it's a good thing. Outwit and perplex and prop got changed to 6 range, and now he's not as good, because from 6 squares, you can move in and charge and hit him one time and knock him off of outwit. And also didn't bring up his number is Infinity Challenge 085 if you guys want to look him up, or Universe 106, same figure, just a reprint. Is there one X-Men you would like to bring up?
Actually, I'm going to go with Phoenix 5 Cyclops.
Okay.
Phoenix 5 Cyclops is a really good overall piece. He's expensive for his points, but he's got some good capabilities. I prefer him. I think it is lower point value.
He starts with a Pulse Wave. He has Ranged Combat Expert for 150. Power Cosmic. X-Men Team Ability, of course, which we've already talked about extensively. So he has a 9 range. You running shot 5 out, that's a 14 effective range. Or if you want a Pulse Wave, that's a 5/5 for 4 damage. And then on top of that, you run him with some of these cheap TK pieces. Oh gosh, I want to move him 8 out. How do you hide from that? And then all of a sudden he can RCE if you're already within range. He drops down onto Invincible from Invul after 1 hit. He's a really short dial for 150, and that's risky, but I really love him. He's got Pinsai, he loses move and attack pretty quickly, and he has support on his second and third clicks. His traits, though, are also ridiculous. Adjacent friendly characters, the X-Men keyword, get +1 attack. Opposing characters, the Avengers keyword, modify their attack values -1. There's no restriction on that. So, opposing characters anywhere, -1 attack. Oh, wait, Donald Blake wouldn't be affected by that because gosh dang it, screw Donald Blake.
Not when you use support.
Yeah, I was just thinking about that. I like him a lot for 150. He's a risky choice because we've talked before, playing one big piece like this for 150 is risky when he gets blasted. But he's got a pretty solid dial until his last 2 clicks. He's got good capabilities, and that trait is really good for this.
Drew, is there any Avenger in particular or X-Men in particular you'd like to honorable mention?
I don't know. It's rough, man. Avengers movie Nick Fury's not bad. Friendly characters possessing the shield team ability who begin an action adjacent next to Fury can use the Avengers Initiative team ability for that action. So basically, you can see through stealth a little bit better. He's not top 10, but he's a good shout out. As for X-Men,
Oh boy.
I don't know, man. You guys.
I'll say a couple while you're thinking of an X-Men. Chaos War Wasp almost made the.
Yeah,
I was kind of
actually.
shocked she didn't.
Yeah, I was thinking.
She is one of my personal favorites, but I felt like she was a little bit
Niche.
off of. No, she's not niche. I mean,
She's
win is in
soft.
cap plus 1
True.
bid, not good.
I don't
But
know. Let's ask Shocker.
yeah, but the thing is, I guess she is really good. She did almost make the cut. It's just there's so many good Avengers pieces. I took her off.
And there's so many good cheap Avengers pieces too.
Speaking of Nick Fury's, if we're going old school and we're going Silver Age,
Are you going?
I don't think he
Secret
has it.
Invasion?
Yeah,
He
the
doesn't
best-
have it.
the best Nick Fury. Oh, he doesn't have Avengers keyword.
Yeah.
Good point. My bad.
Thank God.
There was one other Avengers piece that I almost chose besides Wasp, and let me see if I can bring it up here. Oh, by the way, that Wasp is Chaos War 030. If you guys want to pick her up, she's only. It says $5 in there. I think she's really only like 3 or 4. Movie Hulk. I almost. Well, the thing
Oh,
about Movie
Movie
Hulk
Hulk.
is he's very expensive to play.
yeah.
He's like $255. Yeah, he is $255.
But he don't care about shape change.
He don't care about anything. He don't care that he's across the map. From
Hi,
you.
here's an object. Hi, here's a swing.
So if you're playing in big points games, you could use him, but he's not easy to fit on teams.
And Avengers
And
teams
he
tend to
is-
lack TK outside of Scarlet Witches.
Yes, exactly. And he's
Well, you can TK Giants, can't you?
no, you can't TK Giants.
So you couldn't TK him anyway.
Nope. But he gets +1 to breakaway, so you could try to get away with him if you do run and hit somebody, get pluses to breakaway, run back to Donald Blake, heal him up. No, total
Someone
big
who we forgot was Gambit from Wolverine.
Oh,
X.
Gambit.
no, he's not top 10.
I know, but
He's
I'm
good.
just saying he deserves
Honorable
an
mention.
You can honorable mention him. You got an X-Men left. Here you go, buddy.
The only problem I have with him having played him was that stealth really shuts him down.
If that was stealth running shot top dial, he might have made the cut. I'll say that. Gambit from Wolverine X-Men
It is top down
031.
stealth running shot.
No, it's just,
Oh, it's just stealth.
It's just stealth. Yeah.
I thought you meant no stealth. I was like, hold on.
He can toss light objects. Remember, when you running shot now, or remember that throwing objects is an action, so you can, instead of doing your when you running shot, you'll choose throwing the object as your action, and since you just did a ranged combat action, you get an energy explosion. And so if you throw the light object, you're throwing it at 8 range. You're dealing, from his trait, you're dealing +2 attack and +2 damage, and that is on top of the energy explosion, which has freaking 3 bolts. So you now have, and he has perplex on top of that. So if you purpose damage to a 4, you running shot with an 11 attack, throw a light object 8 squares out, you hit somebody for 4, and then you deal, you hit them for 4 plus 2, so 6 damage on the target, and then 3 bolts plus 2, so 5 damage on each person next to them. That's nuts. Or you can split up the bolts, hit 2 separate groups of people, and just deal mega buku tons of freaking damage.
Gambit's sweet. He's
Yeah,
a ton of
the
fun.
only thing that keeps him from being mentioned is that top dial. He doesn't have the running shot, and that's a
Yeah.
little disappointing. Other than that, that's going to do it for us today. We do have some community to talk about.
Community.
First of all, let's do our featured dial of the week. The assignment for week 1 was build us a duo character that is first of all only from DC or Marvel, and that is a couple like it was our Valentine's Day, and we haven't done the grades yet, but we will go over one of the dials that we have so far liked in particular, and we'll probably get a good score. And that will be Swagnito, of course. He turns in great dials to us, as do a lot of our people. Swagnito, especially because he did one of my favorite characters.
Oh, really?
Go figure.
He did Psylocke and Phantom X, and then he has Cluster on there on top of that, because this represent their relationship is during this past Uncanny X-Force's book, where at the end of Rick Remender's run, not to spoil things, but Cluster is separated from one of Phantom X's brains. Cluster is one of Phantom X's kind of alternate personalities, basically, and it's actually a female side of his brain. And Psylocke and Cluster and Phantom X are on this
love triangle.
This weird fucked up love triangle.
Considering 2 of them are Phantom X.
But not only is the character really cool, this dial is really cool. First of all, it has 4 bolts because it's 3 different characters, and Phantom X always holds 2 guns, so it makes sense. 4 bolts. They each have 1 shot, and Phantom X has 2.
Flame blast ring with this thing.
232 points, so he makes him expensive, but it's worth his points. Assassin, Martial Artist, X-Force, X-Men, Weapon X keywords.
4 bolt, forgot that existed.
Improved movement, ignore hindering and elevated, and characters. Traded, whatever your heart desires. This is especially really cool. At the beginning of the game, choose an object on the map, and that you could choose relics for that, which is kind of the flavor of what this goes for, or you could choose objects. Once per game, you can give this character a power action to remove the object from the game. If you do, modify their attack and damage values +1 for the rest of the game when using the duo attack ability. And what that represents is one of the key arcs and what kind of sets things in motion when they're basically Psylocke wants certain things and Phantom X and Cluster are kind of like competing and stealing for Psylocke. She has another trait, or they have another trait. They can use Sharpshooter, which totally makes sense, especially for Phantom X. When they KO an opposing character, give them an action token. And that's for non-lethal infiltration. And that's something that Psylocke in general tries to do, not necessarily Phantom X, is to not kill people. Because she still, while she works with the X-Force teams and stuff like that, she still tries to maintain being a good, person. And that's kind of how she's brought up, her Captain Britain. Her brother. Misdirection and manipulation. They can use stealth, mind control, shape change. When they succeed on shape change, you can place them in any square of hindering within range line of fire. When they use mind control, modify attack +1 when targeting a character who didn't target them with with an attack since your last turn. And then menage a weapon trays. They can use outwit, give them a double power action. They can be given any 2 range combat actions as free actions, targeting up to 3 characters with each action, and may use outwit a second time in between the actions. Now that's something we have never seen. We've never seen an outwit be able to be used during an action.
Yeah, there's that Mage Knight piece that allows you to use like sidestep between flurries, but we've never seen an outwit or a perplex or something like that between action.
And another thing this thing does is, remember, when you use duo attack, you typically only get 1 bolt. So doing this double power action, this is basically a double power action special duo attack. They also have precision strike, by the way, on these particular clicks usually. So you give them 2 shots, 3 bolts on each with precision strike and 3 damage, so you can dish 1 damage to each character, and they get to use outwit twice. Not only do they get to use outwit twice, they get to take their shots, then outwit, and then take their shots again. Mm-hmm. That's really, really good and really, really cool.
Dial, but this one's really, really good.
But the thing is, first of all, it's 232 points. There's just a shit ton of points. Yeah. And also, when they KO somebody, you have to give them an action token.
Okay, I didn't
which I was thinking about it. If you use the double power action, if you're tactical with them, you won't ever have to worry about that. Because if you give them a double power action and you kill somebody on that action, doesn't matter. You're going to take 2 tokens. You can't take another one anyway. But I thought this was there were a lot of good dials this week.
I even wanted to submit when I was sitting there looking at. I was trying to do an Xavier Moira Taggart dial, but I couldn't come up with a design I liked.
There's always, of course, it's always extremely hard to pick what and grade these things because we have so many good dial designers
especially
in our contests.
Duos.
And but I really like this one. A, because it's comic accurate, and B, because it threw some.
It was some
things,
weird tricks that were really cool.
Yeah, it has some trick. It feels very accurate to the characters with Phantom X and shape change and mind control and stealth from Psylocke, and the outwit double power action type thing is a really cool, unique power that we haven't seen yet. And C, he balances it. He balances it by making it quite a bit of points and by giving them a caveat of when they KO, they have to take an extra token. So he tries to make an effort to balance the piece out without having it be just balls to the walls insane, like some people tend to do when they make dial design. Our question of the week, and you guys can chime in on this. What is your most anticipated Superman Legion of Superhero figure and to play? And I'll let you guys do top 3 since that's kind of a big question.
Hi, Father. I mean, I think that's on almost everyone's top 3 list somewhere, I'm sure.
But you personally to play, like
that is one I'm actually really looking forward to play. I like his style a lot. I like a lot of the abilities they've given him. Like, they just built a really solid support piece that I'm personally looking forward to trying out. Second, which is one that's already out, would be the Gravity Feed Science Police. I really, really want to play them. I haven't collected enough of them to play a proper team with them yet. But we already went over them when we went over the Gravity Feed thing and why they're so good, being police and all that other... They just have so many good... Their enhancement, their police. They get the Outwit down dial for 45 points. I mean, they're great. I don't know what my third figure would be yet.
Drew, any ideas? Top 3?
Yeah. Riddler Prime, probably number 1.
Really?
Edward Nygma?
You probably know, I'm a pretty big Riddler fan. I love his dial. I love everything about him. It's probably going to be one of my most played pieces, so be aware of that. And,
I know you're excited for that Grundles.
Solomon Grundy, my man.
Main set or Fast Forces?
Both.
Yeah, that's true. They do both look good, especially the main set, though.
Main set's just sick. Like, you just keep bringing the guy back, and he just don't die. Third, I don't know, probably a tie between Mordrew and everyone else, and I'm really looking forward to this set. Everyone's on my list.
I got my third piece.
Huh.
The Gravity Feed Amethyst. I've been looking at her. I really like her dial. I liked Amethyst as a character for the short time she was in JL Dark. She has the Justice League keyword, so she can work on JL Dark teams, and she's got a great dial and a great combination of stuff that I'm really looking forward to trying out.
I'm gonna second Drew's Edward Nygma. I also am a big Riddler fan and a big fan of this piece in general. Controls the board. It's a wild card. Has freaking one of the best effing mind controls in the game. Can use mind control and shape change when he uses it. After actions resolve, hit characters are given up to 2 action tokens. Are you nuts? They don't deal pushing damage, but still. Seriously?
Who cares? Yeah, oh no, I can't deal pushing damage.
Like, not only in cap on mind control, but 2 tokens in cap on mind control.
Yep.
That's nuts.
Never a bad Riddler. Never.
And then it has some other goodies throughout his style. And I also like the really comic accurate fact that he switches into a sudden charge blaze with his staff, the blade in his staff.
That's just probably
in Battle Fury, he just flips the fuck out.
Yeah, because Batman figured out his riddle and he's fucking pissed.
And then later, and then he goes back into somewhat of a finesse piece.
I also like how he has his trait where he ignores hindering terrain when drawing lines of fire to characters who didn't move during their last turn.
He's up there for me. Another one of my top ones to play or looking forward to is Mr. Miracle.
Mr. Miracle,
that one's on my list too.
Mr. Miracle for sure. He's a very finessey piece. Miracle. He's all finesse and board control. This dude is the definition of finesse and board control, and that's what I love pieces like that.
Yep.
I also like his character. This is
the reason I'll be running a lot of Precision Strike.
He has great keywords. He has JOI and Justice League and New Gods, and I'm just really hoping that they put out more of the Beyond pieces so I can finally run like a full Justice League Beyond, Batman Beyond set, team somehow in a big points game.
For some reason, I didn't even notice he had JLI.
And he's a big step in the right direction. I love his dial. I love the character.
This is a really well-crafted dial, and they did a great job on it. This whole set is looking to be extremely good.
And I honestly, it's kind of like Iron Man, except better.
It's an apology for Teen Titans.
Because I didn't really see it coming.
Teen Titans wasn't bad, though.
Teen Titans
wasn't bad, but it was a power slump on a lot of stuff. I felt like...
This is, I mean...
I think Highfather's up there for me. The thing is, I'm not super excited to play Highfather because I already know he's going to be really stupid.
And we already know we're going to be stuck playing against him.
I already know he's going to be really stupidly good. I know Bizarro's going to be really stupidly good, and I'll definitely like him, and I'll play him.
Prime or Normal Cheetah, both of them I'm actually kind of wanting to try out.
As far as personal want to play, though, I'd say it's Mr. Miracle, Edward Nigma, and Stargirl. Because I like how Stargirl plays
That's
a lot.
true.
I just like her Dow. I think it's very well crafted and very well created, and it's always very useful.
I really like that Lex Luthor, too.
And I like how she can be... Oh, yeah, he does look good, too. And we'll talk about these pieces when we spoil the set, so we don't need to go too much.
Oh, we're going to talk about all of them.
So that gives you an idea. What else we got on Community? Speaking of dial design, before we move on from that, the assignment for week 2 is, again, like the duos, it's a little bit focused. Oh, first of all, well, damn, I'm jumping all over the place. Let's give the assignment for week 2 real quick. Like the assignment for week 1, it's a little bit restrictive where you had to do a duo. On this one, you have to make us a tiny size character. Now, since that's very restrictive, there's not a whole lot of options for DC and Marvel. I'll also accept indie comics.
Now, by tiny size character, you don't mean I want a pint-sized Batman.
Exactly. It needs to make sense. You can do one, just don't expect a good score. You can do whatever you want.
If there's a comic-accurate example.
Yeah, you can do whatever you want, just don't expect a good score. DC, Marvel, or indie on this week's, and it will be due by February 22nd, which is a Saturday.
Yeah, get creative with this one, guys. This isn't one of those, you should always be creative, but this is one of them where you guys have an opportunity to do some really fun stuff. So I really want to see what people come up with this one.
Going back to the most anticipated question real quick, I forgot to say what the community answered, which was the most important part of it.
Yeah.
Almost everybody said either Solomon Grundy or Bizarro. Those are the two big answers.
Well,
of course, Bizarro looks freaking nuts and probably going to be meta. Actually, he's going to be meta piece.
He's a horde token.
Highfather is going to not only be meta, probably shape the meta, but we'll talk about that on another podcast. Grundy and Bizarro were big answers. A couple people said Mordrew, which also looks really fun as well, and we talked about Mordrew before.
See, I'm kind of withholding my joy for Mordrew until I see what the other versions are like.
I still liked the one that we already spoiled, though. It looks really fun. Let's see what else we got here. There is a super qualifier in ROC in Kentucky coming up. Big Bang Toys. You can get info for this on HC Realms on the ROC. And the reason I bring up this super qualifier in particular is the guys that are going that are running it are some guys that have sent us questions and chimed in on stuff on the podcast before, so I wanted to support them. And also, they sent us an invite and asked us if we wanted to go, and we're wanting to know if we were heading out. And we won't. I'm on call that week. We won't be going personally, but a friend of ours and a friend of the podcast and a future co-host, guy who will be with us in the future on some episodes is Harry Dempsey. He'll be making his way out there, so you guys make sure you treat him good. Treat him like you would us.
I mean, destroy him.
Yeah, make sure you kick his ass pretty well. So if you guys are if you're in the area or you don't mind traveling down to Kentucky, go to hcrealms.com, go to the ROC unit section, and check out that event at Big Bang's Toys on March 8th. Other than that, that's pretty much it. We didn't get any email questions this week. We got a ton of them last week. And
they don't love us anymore.
This week, we're going to talk about movies.
Oh, no.
I actually have a big piece of news that I don't know if you guys saw or not. There's a Black Widow movie that's not confirmed for production by Marvel, but an inside source has been talking about that they are trying to work a Black Widow movie into production. Which, Black Widow has carried her own comic once or twice to good effect. I don't know if it's going to be iffy. If they do a really good spy thriller movie with Black Widow, I think they could pull it off. But I don't know if Scarlett Johansson can pull it off.
She takes a lot of shit. I think she does a pretty good job, personally.
Yeah, she is not a bad
I like her in the movies. She's not perfect. She's not Tony Stark as Iron Man.
Tony Stark as Iron Man.
She's not RDJ. You know what I mean? She's not RDJ as Iron Man, literally born to do that.
RDJ, Tony Stark, same difference.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He is born to do that role. She's not that, but I think she does a pretty damn good job, personally.
My big issue with her has always been I felt like she was an attempted shoe-in of like star power as opposed to an actual good choice for the role. And I don't know. We'll have to see. She's taking a bigger role in Winter Soldier, and from the trailers and everything I've seen, she looks really great in it. So I'm going to see. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited for that movie.
Yeah.
Me and Ricky are just sitting there like jumping for joy. Like, I'm not a big Cap fan. I've made this clear in the past.
Really?
So
He's still butthurt after Civil War.
Oh,
no, I'm butthurt they put him on the Illuminati.
Yeah, I was pretty.
That was a
butthurt.
terrible decision.
Well, he wasn't really on. He's not Illuminati.
You broke the Infinity Gauntlet, Hunter.
In my book, he's not Illuminati.
He's the reason Infinity happened. The reason Thanos came to Earth.
Thanks a lot, Obama. I mean, Cap.
Close enough.
Oh God, Ricky's gonna kill us. We just compared Cap to Obama.
Literally, I'm waiting for him to kick in this door behind me and be like, the hell did you just say? Anyway, Winter Soldier is looking really good. There's a lot of rumors circulating around the plot that are sounding really good, if even one of them is true. And it supposedly is going to set up straight into Age of Ultron. So I am hype about this movie. As I said, me and Ricky have been jumping for joy, speculating back and forth. There's some good stuff. There's some good characters that are going into it. We get to see Falcon, which the trailers have given a lot of love to Falcon lately, and he looks awesome
Who's
in it.
playing Falcon?
I don't remember his name.
What else was he in?
Because you know who'd make a good Falcon? My favorite martial artist actor
Michael
of all
Jai
time.
White?
Michael Jai White, baby.
Yeah.
Also,
Go watch Black Dynamite.
GSP is Batroc.
oh, yeah, well,
Well,
we forgot all about that.
he's the perfect Batroc too.
Another main reason we're talking about movies today is I finally saw Thor: Dark World last night.
Mm-hmm.
Thoughts on the movie?
It's my favorite so far.
It was good. I enjoyed it. I didn't have any major qualms with it.
That was pretty much why
I feel like it was pretty overhyped.
It was solid overall.
It was overhyped by my friends, by you
Really?
guys and other people I talked to.
Yes.
Who are like, "Oh, you got to watch it. It's so good. It's so good." It was pretty good. It wasn't
That's so good. In my book.
like personally, Avengers is better, even though the story is a little bit weak. First of all, the story
Well,
the story of Thor: Dark World, it's fucking shit.
I know. I agree.
The story was crap. That was god awful. They don't explain anything of what's really going on physics wise. It makes no fucking sense. But let's get off that topic.
Anthony Mackie's playing Falcon.
Okay, he'll do okay. I don't. While I understand why that everything that takes place in Asgard and the Nine Realms in these movies is more futuristic, more like Battlestar Galactica tech instead of actual Marvel comics, looks like Lord of the Rings
Well, they're going
style
more with the
fights
Ultimate
tech.
style, aren't they?
It's also because this is modern day, and the average comic reader wants to read it like it is in the comics, but the average person who watches these movies wants to see that.
Well, yeah, like even me though, when I'm reading comics, it is kind of weird sometimes when you have like Thor crossing paths with aliens. And Thor's wearing, classic armor and everything. Or, you see, a chariot from Asgard.
But that's part of...
Yeah.
We understand and don't have... And we actually like it as comic book people, or at least I do.
I wouldn't say I like it. I tolerate it.
It's
really?
It's
I
what
don't
it
really
is,
like
man.
the Clash. I don't know.
It's
just how I
great
am.
though. It lets you know that there's there's Asgard and then there's all these other universes.
I kind of like how they are kind of pushing... I don't like how heavy they push the sci-fi feeling of Asgard. I feel like Dark World pushed it a little too much.
Yeah, exactly.
But I do I like how they are taking that angle a little bit, where it is technology and magic together as one.
The guy who played Malekith does an okay job. Pretty good job.
I feel like my only real issue was that I felt like some of the fight scenes were just weird.
My big issue was Malekith wasn't Malekith.
Mm-hmm.
Malekith wasn't...
See, I haven't read anything on Malekith.
Malekith was more in this movie. He's controlled. He's controlled and kind of quiet, for lack of a better word, and concentrated. Whereas Thor comic Malekith is batshit insane, but is also batshit insane genius, deceptive, crazy, almost like the Joker is in Batman a little bit,
So he's
where
like
where he's kind of crazy and wild, but he's really smart and he proves it, through things that are going
Who's
on.
the brother of Black Bolt? Maximus?
Maximus? No, not quite. He's more crazy than Maximus.
Okay.
Like Maximus is a scientist. and
Yeah,
stuff.
Maximus. is-
Like Malekith's just ruthless and crazy and kills his own guys basically commits genocide on his own freaking race to prove points. Like,
I would make a Fallout New Vegas reference, but Austin wouldn't get it.
but while the guy who played him did well, I would have rather had Malekith the way he is in the comics because I really like Malekith.
I'm hoping.
I really like Chris as Thor. Of course, he does a good job.
Yeah, he's probably.
What's her face was tolerable in this one.
What's her face? Natalie
The young-
Portman.
Natalie
Portman
Portman was tolerable. Kat Dennings was funny. She had some.
I feel like she wasn't as forced in this movie.
Yeah, she had
in the
some.
first movie, she felt really pushed in there.
She had good lines. The scientist guy is hilarious. They write some good little moments for him, and the story overall was weak. Tom Huddleston's great as Loki. I did like the whole Loki aspect of everything. I did like him being captured and the whole thing with him and Freya and him putting on the facade that he doesn't care about. He doesn't care about his mother's death, and when all the shit's going down, you think he doesn't really care. But then when he lets down his charm, you realize like he's distraught and he's wrecked the room,
Yeah.
and he's like he really did care about his mom. Like,
I do say this is probably honestly, this is probably the best Loki movie we've gotten so far.
yeah, I liked him quite a bit in it. He does a great job as an actor, and I thought that his part of it was well written. That part was a big scene that was probably my favorite part of the movie, honestly. I know it sounds weird.
If I think about it, I think I agree. I think overall, I think Loki's transition throughout the movie was probably the best journey story part of it. I don't want to say I didn't care about Thor versus Malekith, but really I wasn't watching it for the overarching plot, and I wasn't engrossed in it. I was more so to be honest, I was watching it looking for little hints of what was to come and stuff like that.
Another thing I hated, they cast these great people as the Warriors 3.
Not in it at all, really.
In it for a total of what? Fucking 2 minutes total screen time?
That really
what's
did
the
upset
point?
me.
What is the point? Unless they better be all in and the main thing in the next Thor movie, or what is the point? Why did you put these great actors? First of all, the chick who plays Sif is hot, and the first thing I thought of when I saw her, even though I already know she's Wonder Woman, is she looks like a Wonder Woman. I thought she is who's going to be
that's
Wonder
who
Woman.
everyone wanted to be.
She should be.
She can't. Obligation.
She
to Marvel.
has a perfect face. It's feminine, but it's strong. Her jawline is guyish, but girlish at
Hunter,
the
are
same
we going to
time.
open your door and see posters of Jamie Alexander everywhere?
She's fucking hot, but she looks like Wonder Woman to
They're
me.
not Jamie Alexander. What's her name?
I don't know her name is, but
Jamie Alexander.
that
Is
chick
that it?
that chick is looks just like Wonder Woman. She's short, of course, since Wonder's name is on, but still. I think she would make a great Wonder Woman, and her acting.
I think the whole internet agrees with you.
Her
That
acting,
was-
while she wasn't in the movie a whole lot, was great.
The time she was in it was great. But
So,
the one thing I did like was the Asgardian interaction, Freya and Sif and all them, the little times when it's just Asgardians hanging out and stuff was really well done. I want to make one point though. I think the Hogan thing was a Chekhov's gun, where Hogan shows up at the beginning, they show him for a millisecond towards the end. I feel like for some reason that's going to end up playing out to be important because there's no reason for them just to throw him in there and then.
Yeah,
well, and he even mentions because that's one of the first scenes in the movie is the battle with the Cronin Stone Giant. First of all, it was awesome. And
If the trailers hadn't ruined it all.
no, see, I don't watch trailers, so it doesn't ruin things for me. So yay!
That was the center point of every freaking trailer.
So, they make a point of the viewer catching.
It is Jamie Alexander.
You're
Oh,
going.
it is?
Yes.
Hogan is going on some little thing that's going on in this realm, and Thor wishes him good luck and asks if he should help. And they make a point of talking about what's going on with Hogan and that in
Then they
that
abandon
area,
it, and then he shows
they
what-
abandon it. So I was like, well, this must be part of the movie later, but it wasn't.
See,
It was for a split second, but it really wasn't.
Here's my hope for Thor 3. I'm honestly kind of tired of all these movies being about Earth's falling apart and everyone's going to die. With Thor, I want to go on these big journeys. I want to see a journey through the realms. I want to see Hogan and Thor
Hell.
fighting the minion, fighting Hela or fighting Surtur.
Hell, the title of Thor's first book had Journey in it.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, like, I feel like I'm really hoping Thor 3 is an epic, like, medieval quest kind of story.
yeah, I feel like Thor 3 should be kind of like a Lord of the Rings movie in the fact that
Exactly.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I thought.
because that's what the book's about. It's about going on this big adventure and like
we get more Warriors 3 out of it. We get a lot more Asgardian, and we get to step away from Earth for one damn moment in the Marvel Universe.
all they got to do is take the second arc of Thor: God of Thunder and make it into a movie. It would be perfect.
yeah.
I think my biggest complaint is there were no damn dwarfs, and I'm so tired of them shitting on the dwarfs.
That pissed me off. I really liked the guys who they had for Sif Hogan and Volstagg and Fandral.
Fandrel's
Although
great.
Fandrel's person
Although
changed.
Fandral is in it a little bit more than the rest of
Yeah.
them slightly,
Yeah.
but I was like, I like these guys. I like who they casted. I like their costumes. I like how they're portrayed.
Heimdall had some great parts too.
And then, Heimdall was my favorite part. First of all, Idris is the
Idris
best
Elba,
character
yeah.
on The Wire. Or I liked him the best on
Oh
The
yeah.
Wire. He was my favorite character on The Wire, but he's a great actor. And he's been in a lot of movies lately, so he's getting a lot of work.
If you haven't seen it, go watch The Wire. Seriously.
Who hasn't seen The Wire by this point? You haven't seen The Wire.
I haven't seen The Wire.
It's the best TV show ever made.
Okay,
It literally is the best TV show ever made. There's no better.
Anyways.
None.
I think this opinion changes weekly. This is the best game ever. This is the best show ever. This is the best movie
Well,
ever.
you
How
wouldn't
did I say
know
this playing
because
this
you
season?
don't watch them.
The Wire came out 5 years ago. Was like the last season.
Well, then give it another 5 years and I'll have seen it.
Oh,
Okay.
you're so.
But anyways, I enjoyed it overall, but it's down towards the bottom for me on
I liked it better than Iron Man 3, that's for damn
Marvel Well, yeah, but I still think my favorite Marvel movie.
It's gotta be the Avengers.
I think Iron Man 1. I liked Iron Man 1 a lot. And
More
2.
than the Avengers, though.
Avengers story is balls.
Okay, and I'm
I
gonna
don't
say
care.
this.
I
It's
guess
still the
Avengers.
fucking Avengers.
Avengers is good.
Listen,
My problem with Avengers, though...
Cap was really good.
no, there
Well,
is
that's
no. Listen. There is no problem with the Avengers. It completely changed the superhero movie forever. It will.
That's fine.
No,
But
no.
judging it as a movie,
No.
I felt like there
No.
were a ton of deleted scenes that weren't included in
I
the movie.
feel like no.
Yes. The movie was
That's
felt
just
so
like
short and rushed.
Your opinion, man.
Yeah, that's just like your opinion.
I'm talking to you.
No, my opinion's right. It's the thing. And yours is wrong, Austin. So
Also, I don't get why people hate on Iron Man 2 so much.
because it sucked.
I liked Stu a lot.
No, it was okay.
I think as far as Marvel Studios movies, like that, not like the X-Men, the Spider-Man movies and stuff. I think my favorite Marvel movie is still Iron Man 1, though.
Listen, you gotta. All superhero movies from the
Yeah,
beginning of time have been about one superhero. One singular superhero. And then they somehow made a movie where everyone gets equal time, everyone's important, and they made it into an amazing movie.
Note
And-
to self: next time you roofie Drew's drug, make sure
I'm telling you, somebody put something in his drink today.
No!
I
it's-
meant to
man
put the
is
downers, not the uppers. Damn it!
I'm just telling you.
Or he's still high on victory.
He is. He's high on victory.
Okay, sorry. I won't
So
talk.
here,
We're
okay.
just fucking with you.
I won't
So
talk.
if you could pick any like Avengers-related hero to get a movie, who would it be?
Avengers related?
Like any
Iron Fist.
Well, Iron Fist is getting a Netflix TV show, if I recall, isn't he?
I don't care what he's getting. He's a movie.
Well, they're doing all the Heroes for Hire as Netflix shows, and they're going to do. Well, they're
Well,
doing
that's
them
not
as the
Iron Man.
Defender.
That's
They're doing
not
them
Iron
as the
Fist.
Defenders. They're each getting one, and then they're doing a Defenders movie of all of them.
Oh, while we're on the topic of movies, not to derail your thought and remind me to bring it back up a second. Did you guys know that the new Human Torch is black? Did
No.
you guys? Okay. So the other day, I don't remember what the hell I was looking at that brought me to this, but I was on IMDb and I was looking at this kid. He was in The Wire for a couple episodes. He was in.
Who was he?
He's the main black kid on Chronicle, the movie.
I still need to see that.
Okay, he's the main friend, the black friend on Chronicle. Then I noticed on IMDb it says he's going to be Human Torch in production. I'm like,
You know what?
why is Human Torch black? Like, I know we already
all
had
the
the Nick Fury fiasco, but why is Human Torch
But see,
black?
now I can it's not a big deal to me for like not Human Torch, but for Nick Fury or something like that. But Human Torch, part of it is that he is the brother of
Are they?
Susan
Yeah.
Storm
Are they
and
all
that.
going to be black? I mean, what's the deal here? Like, not that we, of course, have a problem with race, like we're racist, but let's stick to what these people actually are. If it's Luke Cage, I want Luke Cage to be black.
No, Luke Cage should obviously be a sheep farmer
If
from
it's-
Alabama.
If it's Blade, it needs to be Wesley Snipes. I mean, that's
There's no other actor he does
that's-
Wesley Snipes.
That's what he looks like. I don't want my Human Torch to be black. I don't want my Luke Cage to be white. I mean, what the hell?
Like, the thing is, like, Nick Fury was, like, Samuel L. Jackson pulled it off, so, I mean, got lucky. But
Well,
they
also
based him on
rolled it-
Ultimate,
Yeah, they
Ultimate
based him
was
on
black.
Ultimate's Nick Fury,
which was based on
makes
Samuel L. Jackson.
exactly, which makes it forgivable. It's
Yes.
not
Yeah.
desirable, but it makes it forgivable. And then they wrote Nick Fury Jr. into the main,
now I
the
could
main
see,
role.
like, Firestorm or something, because he is half black.
Well, if they do Firestorm, they'll probably do both.
Yeah.
They'll do two actors. But anyways, I just want to bring that up before I forgot. If I could have any other Avengers-based character have a movie made around them, my other favorite characters in the Avengers, besides the ones that already have movies, would be Iron Fist. It's got to be Iron
A
Fist.
full Iron Fist.
What about
movie,
you,
yeah.
Austin?
I don't know.
Or
I-
Hawkeye. Or Hawkeye.
Hawkeye would be a good movie if they did it right.
Although I don't
Everyone
know...
hates Jeremy Renner, though.
They
I
have...
love Jeremy.
Really?
That's all I ever hear is how people hate the Hawkeye in Avengers.
Well, he didn't get much time. He was mind controlled for half the damn movie.
Yeah, he was mind controlled.
I just liked how, like I said, Avengers, I don't know. I think it's going to be the best Marvel movie for a little bit. At least. I don't think you can name me one right now that's better.
Iron Man one.
No, it's not better. It's not.
All right, man.
It's hard. That's a hard choice, though. Hawkeye would be a good one.
The best Marvel movie, you said?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. I was going to say, it's
See,
not the best super.
I mean, like, all the ones I name are already getting them. I mean, you get Doc Strange, you got Black Panther, which... Black Panther's going to be an interesting movie. I'm wondering how they're, like, how well they'll pull that off.
I do like Black Panther quite a bit. See, the things about... My thing is, my favorite Marvel characters have little to no affiliation with the Avengers. So, like, for me...
Well, I'm more so saying characters that would eventually tie back into the main...
I know what you're
overarching thing,
saying.
yeah.
I'm just thinking, like, for me, like, my favorite Marvel characters are Spider-Man, Fantastic Four, and a lot of X-Men people.
If
It's
they
not-
just get their
It's
shit-
not Cap and Iron Man, and...
Yeah.
Not that I don't like them. They're just not my favorite.
If they just let
people.
Marvel Studios
And
do
Iron
a
Fist.
Fantastic Four movie.
A Heroes for Hire movie would be cool. Like, I like all those
well,
characters.
from what I understand, and here's the way they're setting it up. On Netflix, they're doing series for each of the Heroes for Hire characters, but they're calling them Defenders, and they're doing the Doctor Strange movie coming up. A lot of people think they're going to tie them together and just do a Defenders team led by Doctor Strange and the
Why?
Heroes for Hire.
Does Marvel have rights to Ghost Rider?
Yeah, they got it back.
Oh,
Yeah.
they did? Okay.
So they said that there's a movie in production for Ghost Rider too. That's why they grabbed it. And
Okay.
Daredevil.
Listen, Ghost Rider clearly is the best Marvel movie of all time. Right?
That's 20th Century Fox and everything.
I
now.
hope this guy's joking, right?
I'm joking pretty hard.
He's trolling pretty hard now.
I'm
The
trolling.
first Spider-Man was good.
First Spider-Man was good. The second
Actually,
Spider-
the first Spider-Man...
the first Spider-Man was good. The second Spider-Man was
Was
good.
okay.
The third
The
Spider-Man.
second
The third
Spider-Man
one
was
was-
pretty
yeah.
good. The third one was crap. No, honestly, the first one might be the best Marvel movie. The very first one. Go back and watch it. It still holds up.
It still holds
It's
up.
a good
but
movie.
I'm
Despite
just
Tobey
saying
Maguire.
the Avengers did something groundbreaking and it deserves the top spot for the time being.
Okay, that's fine.
Austin doesn't agree for some
I think
reason.
I think most people would agree with you.
I can see it as justification. Like I can. be
I'm
like-
sorry, Iron Man.
but I'm not judging it on technical achievement
Nick-
in
That's
plots.
what I'm saying.
I'm judging it on
Listen.
like overall my favorite movie to sit down and watch.
It's a superhero movie. It's a lot like comics. You don't judge everything on plots. I mean,
It's just a personal thing. Some
Yeah.
people do judge everything on plot. I tend to judge things more on the story, but especially with movies, most people are going to agree with you. Most people think Avengers is the best. Why? Because it has awesome action scenes. It has everybody and their mama from Marvel Comics in one movie.
So Hunter, if you went back in time and told yourself there's going to be a Guardians of the Galaxy movie, would you cry and joy?
I did not cry.
listen.
I can't believe it.
And this is why Guardians of the Galaxy might be the new best movie.
I think Guardians of the Galaxy will definitely break some molds though.
It's the one I'm most excited. I was telling you guys before, like, I wasn't that excited for any of the other ones, really. I get excited for the Spider-Man movies when they come out. Like, I'm excited about the next one. But of Guardians of the Galaxy, oh my goodness, I cannot wait.
Winter Soldier looks like a good political thriller war movie, and that's what has me excited for, because that's really what I want to see out of Cap with S.H.I.E.L.D. and everything. And it looks like it's going to be a really good S.H.I.E.L.D. movie, which is another thing I really want to see.
Yeah, Guardians, and I stayed after, saw the spoilers for Guardians, which at this point I'm sure we can talk about, because that movie's...
Down, 5 to go.
It's been a long time since it came out. I liked seeing the Collector and that he's going to be a part of it. He's a character. I haven't read a lot of stuff with him aside from, of course, Infinity Gauntlet. And there was one comic I read that had a lot of the Elders of the Universe, and I can't think of it. It might have been Silver Surfer at one point when I was a kid. But I liked him. But
he was a little flamboyant. But
the dude who plays him, he looks too human. Not that Collector does look kind of human, but he looks different too. I thought this guy was. That's another thing I didn't like about Malekith. Malekith looked too human-y.
And not elven enough, really.
Yeah, he didn't look. He didn't look like he was made of a different race. He wasn't blue at all. I don't like how his hair is pulled back in a tight ass braid. I was telling Ashley during mid movie, I was like, I hope at the end during the fight something happens and they make his hair all crazy. Just kind of a nod at comic fans of Malekith that his hair
was
gets all
half
crazy.
and half at all? Like Malekith is in the comics?
There's one point in the movie where half of his face gets blasted in the fight,
right.
And it's kind of a nod to his face paint being half
so,
and half. But
one of the things that, now that we're talking about the end scene, there's of course 6 Infinity Gems, and the end scene does confirm that the Tesseract is one of them, and the Aether's the other.
right.
So, a lot of people have been discussing what the other ones could potentially be. They have confirmed the Tesseract is the Space Gem. It's not the Mind Gem, as a lot of people speculated. Colors will not directly match up, they said. Aether is pretty damn sure the Power Gem, given its capabilities in that.
I was wondering if it would be that or the Soul Gem.
Well, see, a lot of people are discussing whether Winter Soldier being the whole... I'm not going to spoil anything for those who don't know shit about Bucky, but I'm wondering if the Soul Gem will play into that, and Hydra and all that stuff. And then Ant-Man is a heist movie, obviously.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
And then Guardians of the Galaxy, they've shown they're running... The plot of Guardians of the Galaxy is they have a stone of some sort, and they're running with it, and the whole universe is chasing them for it.
You know what I don't like about if they do that, like the Ant-Man thing? Like, first of all, the gems usually none of them are on Earth. And whereas in these Marvel movies, they would have, like, almost all of them be on Earth.
Yeah,
it's
right.
like, really? That's kind of fucked up. Like, that's not how it should be. It should be
It's
all
like the
on
Dragon
stage.
Balls, Jesus Christ.
But yeah, I'm super psyched for Guardians. Even if Guardians sucks, it'll still be, like, my favorite
The fact
Marvel
that they
movie.
made a Guardians
The fact
movie.
that it exists, like, I'll be so hyped.
I'm actually excited for Chris Pratt. I mean, like, I've seen him in a lot of stuff lately where he himself is psyched because he's a Guardians fan. And I'm interested to see his take on Star-Lord.
You know what movie doesn't get a lot of love? The original Cap. And
Trailers ruined it for me.
When we were talking about our favorite Marvel movies a minute ago, I was thinking of Cap, and I thought about bringing it up.
I really like Cap, and
I still think I like Iron Man.
Cap's the superhero movie I feel like I could sit down with people who hate superheroes and they'd still enjoy.
Yeah. Because it's not...
It's like a
over
general,
the top. Yeah, it feels like a buddy war movie.
a good war movie.
Yeah. But anyways, let's wrap this puppy up. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter and like us on Facebook. And do not forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel especially. We have... I got our best build matches up from last week. I got them up today. They are pretty funny. There's only 2 of them because I couldn't get the camera to work. But next time that we do it, I'll make sure I'll get one for each of us. One for Austin too. But there's one of my matches, one of Drew's matches. You guys can see your teams in action.
watch them get smashed.
You can see, make sure if you watch the one where Drew's playing, you listen all the way at the end, because I discovered today some hilarious commentary between Drew and Harry that's pretty funny.
Including, you get a nice experience of what it's like to play against Drew.
Yeah. So
Don't start winning, I'll quit.
subscribe to us on YouTube. I put out a video every week. And next week, Drew has been generous enough to donate his Yu-Gi-Oh starter for us to borrow and do a starter review on. So I'll be reviewing that.
I didn't buy it.
And we'll talk about that since the Yu-Gi-Oh set's coming up soon.
I was going to say, aren't we going to do some case cracking soon?
when it eventually comes
when
out.
they eventually come out.
Next year.
Austin's gonna unbox a case, and we'll be doing an unboxing for Superman Legion Superheroes also.
I was going to say that is one news thing I do want to say is that Yu-Gi-Oh! Right now does not have a date with distributors.
What?
They don't have a designated date right now.
WizKids.
WizKids, yeah. It's been pushed back once. This is assuming a second pushback of an undesignated amount of time.
This is
So
silly.
sometime in the next few weeks we will get Yu-Gi-Oh!
At some point in space-time, Drew, we will
When
have
does
Yu-Gi-Oh!
Slosh come
books.
out?
Not this week, but next, supposedly. Not this Wednesday,
The
but
very
next.
tail end of February, bordering on March.
Yes.
This is some BS.
It was supposed to come out the last week
Yes.
of February. It's only been pushed back a week.
It was supposed to come out this past Wednesday.
Yeah.
On the solicits have it
So
for...
it's a 2-week knockback? Huh,
Yeah.
a WizKids 2-week knockback. That's not like every damn
The
set they ever
solicits
release.
still say the 12th, if
Oh,
you
really?
open them up, yeah. So that's why I got confused.
That would have been my Valentine's Day gift to Drew.
Anyways, follow us Facebook, Twitter, YouTube. We'll holler at you guys next week on Saturday.
Later.